Under the strong sand wind, the king's soldiers looked in amazement at the direction of the spirit beasts and shouted, "Ah, look!" The shape of the big dogs was changed into strong bodies that made them gape, spirit beasts. Now appearing, they looked in amazement at the human form of each spirit beast. Set's eyes glowed with a brilliant light and looked proudly towards the universe. The three divine beasts, Orphanhood, Set, and Anubis, completed their transformation into the form of an ancient god. Set couldn't help but laugh out loud, "Haha, this is really amazing." Feeling the legendary power flowing through his body, Set waved his hand and said happily, "You fools, taste the taste of a sandstorm." The system notification panel appeared. The god of destruction was calling for a sandstorm. The wind of destruction was coming and tearing everything apart. A sandstorm passed by, sweeping everything away. The king's soldiers became just another ants that were crushed by the sandstorm. "Ha ha ha, destroy them all, tear them apart." He looked at the excited divine beast Set and smiled bitterly. It seemed like it was very excited. The soldiers serving the king quickly carried out a counterattack plan. They aimed poison spears at the spirit beast and shouted, "Attack, attack the evil spirit beast." Small but sharp spears like toothpicks pierced the side and arms of the god of destruction, making him cry out, "Poisonous, what is it?" "Ah, you bastards, you've poisoned these spears." Orphanhood looked at his spirit beast friend and exclaimed, "Alas, what a pain." Set immediately replied, "You're just standing there watching, don't you also have something to get?" Only then did Orphanhood remember the deal with him and said in surprise, "Oh right." The god Osiris shouted, "You bastards, you dare attack the spirit beast?" Then a series of lightning bolts appeared from the sky and struck down. Those who were struck by the lightning were all blown away. According to his words, the soldiers who were struck by the attack were indeed blown to pieces. After beating the soldiers to his heart's content, Orphanhood smiled bloodthirstily and said, "Now it's your turn to be struck by lightning." The god of destruction was also scared and said, "Wow, crazy, you pretend to be gentle but look at the way you attack." The ancients in the pharaoh's tomb were hit by a powerful lightning strike, causing them to panic and hide from each other. "What is this? Isn't Osiris very obedient? Will he kill us the way he was killed?" The artifact in the shape of a statue of the pharaoh's head seemed to have become a loud-speaking leader. It was Set who provoked Osiris. The other artifact asked, "But why did he attack us?" They looked towards the only person who hadn't joined the fight and hoped, "Calm down, there's still hope, look at Anubis over there." He did not attack us. The god of death was still standing on the sidelines looking at the king's soldiers who were almost completely defeated. They continued to discuss, "Maybe he is on our side, yes, we should ask him by intuition." Said to make the ancients call, the spirit beast Anubis, the ears of the cave's god of death heard the cry and replied, "Ha." They all begged and pleaded, "Please stop them, if the manager finds out, no one will be safe." At this moment, the god of destruction saw them and shouted, "Ah, they are there." Anubis looked at Set who was madly attacking the artifacts, not very happy. Die, die." He frowned and thought to himself, "They think I'm on their side because I didn't attack anything. I should do something, but I don't know what to do." Anubis tried to think of another way to show his power. "I will attack with words." "You bastards, how dare you disobey the spirit beast's orders? You dare to call the army to attack the spirit beast. Not only that, you don't even know why we are angry." The antiques were startled and scared but quickly thought of some other crazy things. "Wait a minute, it only scolds but does nothing, this is big trouble." They once again transmitted their own voice to the god of death. "If you do it for the two people beside you, then shake those carrots, we will secretly help you escape." "These guys." Anubis angrily raised his hand and started to use his power, then cursed out loud, "You bastards don't understand what I'm saying." A raging fire descended on the soldiers, leaving them unable to react. "I really have to open the gates of hell for you to understand." The wrath of the god of death descended, causing the soldiers and the ancients to be scared out of their wits and hurriedly begged for mercy. "Oh sorry sir." After a while of showing off his power, the spirit beast Anubis sat down on the ground, sticking out his tongue and panting. "Now you can go, running away is the best thing to do." The god of destruction let out a big laugh. It was like that after opening the door to hell. It just chased them away. Osiris could not bear it and said, "Oh my god, Anubis suffered so much, just because he was out of strength." Osiris took out a somewhat elaborate-looking holy scroll and arrogantly said, "I guess I have to help you." Osiris wrote down a list of names. The names written on it would lose their lives and be thrown dead to the kingdom of lions. The king's soldiers were pulled away by the power emitted from the book, causing the crowd to scream, "I'm being pulled inside. Help!" Seeing the horseye fight scene, Seojian smiled with satisfaction and said, Very good, you guys cleared the way first." At this moment his teammates returned and called out, "Boss, Seojian." "What? I thought I told everyone to run, what are you guys doing here?" He was surprised to see them here and his teammate explained, "We don't want to leave you alone, and there's no safe place in this desert anyway." Soldiers appeared near where we were. Julian Miller gave the reasons for their return here and received an exclamation from him. It's good that you came, the battle will be over soon. It seemed that Julian Miller was feeling very uneasy and asked if he was okay. Seojian didn't understand, so he asked again, what? He turned his gaze to the three gods who were fighting fiercely and spoke. He revived all three spirit beasts at once. Normally that would be suicide, right? When using an artifact, both physical and mental strength are consumed. I bet you know that even just one artifact consumes a lot of energy. Using too many artifacts will kill you. Seojian smiled confidently in response and said in a gentle tone, I know. But I can take it, I look so strong. But somehow, the teammate wanted to continue asking but was interrupted by him saying, now let's clean up, go capture the artifacts over there. The god of destruction stood with his hands on his hips, looked at the captured relics and ordered them to stand up. They answered in unison, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Seojian didn't make things difficult but smiled and said, now you know fighting is useless, right? All of you are mine now. The trembling mask relic representative replied, I will obey your orders. Seojian continued speaking, this is Tutankhamun's mask, are you the commander? I guess so, the mask replied in a soft voice. Seojian looked at it with a sinister gaze and ordered, gather all the artifacts in the tomb, they are all mine. Tutankhamun's relics replied fearfully, all the relics are here, there is nothing else. Seojian frowned angrily and then roared unpredictably, is that so? He looked up at the sky and said, what is that flying bird? As far as I can see, it's also an antique. When the bird that was about to escape heard it, it was so scared that it broke out in a cold sweat. Seojian used a golden string and threw it around the mask that had the shape of a pharaoh. Since you command them, shouldn't you bring it here yourself? He tied the end of the rope tightly and spun it around, making it scream, ah, my head hurts. Come on, Seojian threw it hard towards the bird that was escaping in the sky, scaring it to the point of losing its voice. Oh my god, you must escape, the relic of Tutankhamun cried urgently talking to its fellow. The ancient bird could do nothing but say, hey, I want it too, I want to escape. But then the two artifacts still collided with such great force that the bird could no longer fly. Collect the relics of Thoth and Pharaoh, a hunt is complete. The number of artifacts collected in the king's tomb is huge, almost all the artifacts of Egyptian civilization were taken. Starting with the artifacts of the best experts like architects, priests and officers. We even got artifacts from pharaohs like Cleopatra and Hatshepsut. And the most important artifact among them is that of Tutankhamun. He is the master of the tomb and the symbol of wrath. A purple notification panel appears, you have obtained the ultimate key, the key of wrath. Once you have obtained it, you can use the power of wrath, widespread explosion, temporary increase in the ability of the artifact, and level up the effect of the artifact. Seojian felt confused with the amount of information just now. What exactly is the supreme key, and don't send any more notifications. Perhaps because Tutankhamun was the son of a king, he was able to use age-changing magic. Soon after, Seola and Irene's curse was lifted. And there is another artifact that I must have. Mythological level, artifact of Thoth. In Egyptian mythology, he was the god of knowledge, science, and the moon. Like the medicines in the pharmacy, he appears in many stories and is the one who gives advice or helps. He also serves as a scribe to record the judgments of the court of the dead in hell. If he had already obtained the ultimate artifact, then his luck must be extremely good. He smiled and said to the thing in front of him, hey, little bird, stand up straight. Because you are the god of knowledge, you surely know everything, the bewildered bird replied, what? Tell me where the relic of the Pentagon is? The relic was buried under this tomb, so it must be somewhere around here, right? The angry bird flapped its wings, what do you know? Even if I knew, why would I tell the humans? Julian stood up with his legs crossed and said in a frivolous tone, oh, are you challenging me? But you picked the wrong opponent, the bird quivered and cried out. Obviously the artifact had taken a beating, the crowd watching this animal torture scene could only remain silent. Ujeha wept as he lamented, and so everything ended as usual. Now he was asking me to heal it. The bird was beaten until its face was bruised, and it trudged ahead, leading the way. This way, shouldn't you have confessed right away? Seojian opened his eyes and looked, oh my. So they were here, decorated like artifacts in a tomb. First, we need to find Da Vinci's most important relic. He began to search through the pile of objects, and it turned out that he had already reached his destination from the start. Look carefully, it must be around here. Jeha was confused, oh my god, I need to know what it looks like to find it, right? Julian was also helpless, right? He picked up a book, it gave off a thin halo of light. Great, found it, Leonardo da Vinci's idea notebook. Seojian threw it over there, caught it, yours? Ujeha exclaimed in panic, what, mine? But why? Why did you give me this antique? Seojian didn't answer but held out his hand and said. No need, if you don't need it then give it back, I'll sell it. Jae-ha held the book tightly, indignantly exclaiming. Ah, how can you take it back after giving it away? Ju-hyun laughed, ha ha, just kidding. It's only used by people with a talent for painting, just keep it and use it. Julian Miller rubbed his chin thoughtfully. That is, the artifact that turned you Jae-ha into the king of lies. Lee Seola nodded worriedly and said, yes. However, we don't know if that will happen again this time. Seo Ju-hyun smiled, now, I'll take all the things here. Julian startled and said, wait. He asked again, what, are you making a fuss because I used your stuff, give me a drink. There are already a lot of Go's antiques, Julian Miller replied confusedly. No, that's not it, aren't all the antiques here from the Pentagon, so America owns them, right? Seo Ju-hyun replied, probably. But it's mine. The magic bottle, drain it. He poured the bottle out, red smoke coming out of its mouth. Julian was startled and shouted, hey Seo Ju-hyun. Why are you trying to make more enemies? Besides, our enemy is the US government, they are not easy to defeat. Seo Ju-hyun didn't care, he said, are you stopping me from taking all the relics? No way, and think carefully, what did Kira do with those relics? Julian suddenly stopped. She's the one who started the war. Wouldn't it be better if the hunters were on my side, so I could win? Ah, Julian suddenly realized and got angry. No, wait. Kira is gone so there is no one to start a war anymore. He clicked his tongue, well, you are not convinced, are you? No matter what, I won't share these relics. The world is about to change to a place where those with more relics will have more advantages, am I right? Julian frowned at him, feeling like he was getting more and more vicious. I'll take that as a compliment, you should get used to it. We're getting out of here, follow me. Yes. Everyone followed Seo Ju-hyun out. Jae-ha hesitantly said. Boss. Why are we out at this hour? I don't know how to get in but getting out is always simple. Sesame, open up, is that what you call a spell? Seo Ju-hyun glanced at him, when did I say that? There you go, just go through this wall and you'll be out. He placed his hand on the wall, and an electric current ran through it. Boom, a big bang. I think this tomb is useful, so I want to keep it intact. Julian looked at him with judgment. Who knows, if we take away the artifacts here, the tomb might collapse. Look, there's an immediate reaction. The ground shakes, and rocks start falling. Seo Ju-hyun still confidently said, who allowed it? He held out his hand, his right hand emitted a few rays of light. I will use tomb preservation magic to prevent it from collapsing. Seo Ju-hyun called, hey, Tombkeeper, come out. Tutankhamun's relic appeared, huh? He ordered, use your power so the tomb doesn't disappear. The artifact replied in confusion, you want me to keep a tomb on someone else's land? Do you know how much strength I have to use to keep the tomb stable? Ju-hyun grinned, that's your business. The tomb guardian said angrily, don't you think that's a bit too much human, why should I do that? I really like the traps in this tomb. Hearing Seo Ju-hyun's answer made the artifact feel like a question mark. On the other side of the tomb, Director Yoon. The staff ran to report, rescue has arrived, what are the losses? Where is the chairman? Others worriedly said, we got the news that day we were stuck in the coffin, the man with glasses replied, yes, that's right. But the coffin disappeared, everyone shouted at the same time, what? Eunice Iwa knelt down on the ground with his head in his hands, damn it, I was watching him carefully, wait, don't panic. Use the search artifact, it's an emergency, we have to find the chairman. Underground, in an Egyptian king's coffin, the man shouted, you people, I am here. He pounded on the coffin lid and screamed, why can't you find me when you're right above me? How much longer, I'm going crazy. No matter how hard I try to smash this coffin, it won't do any damage. And my relics won't work either, damn it. Kwon Tae-jun angrily shouted, Seo Ju-hyun, you bastard. I will kill you as soon as I escape, the coffin suddenly lit up. The man emitted a red aura, it was useless to his subordinates. Then he heard the voices of people above. What is this? An earthquake? Is the tomb going to collapse? Let's get out of here, yes, we need to survive first. Kwon Tae-jun panicked and shouted, what, wait, no. Where are you going? I'm right here. You're almost there, just dig a little more. Disloyal, you bastards, as soon as we get out, I'll fire you all. He glared, these bastards. Seo Ju-hyun, a pillar of light appeared in the middle of the tomb. In a corner, Seo Ju-hyun lamented, my ears are so itchy. The rope artifact wiggled and asked, let me scratch it, let me scratch it. Breaking news, official announcement from Pandora, the Royal Valley. Special CMM Bulletin, the tomb is full of traps, many people are injured. As the excavation of the Royal Valley continued, it was reported that not a single artifact had been found. Still, many traps were in operation, and more casualties were being taken out. Pandora announced that they would be more vigilant from now on. They assumed that the crypt might not be normal, there were no artifacts but only traps. It will take some time for the excavation of this Royal Valley to have an impact on nearby residents. Ujeha asked him, "What is that?" Seo Juhon replied, "I requested that Tutankhamun's relics be kept in the original state of the tomb." Chairman Quan was locked inside. Jeha was surprised, "What?" "He's still trapped," Juhon said. "That trap is strange, it only holds the strong. I was trapped and didn't know what to do, so I thought Chairman Quan should give it a try too. It would be good if he never got out." Ujeha broke out in a cold sweat, afraid of his boss. So evil. He covered his mouth and yawned, he did so many bad things that he deserved it. "I'm going to bed, I'm tired." The tangled rope said, "Master, you are tired." "Are you tired? I will prepare a bed for you, okay." Seo Juhon comfortably said, "Okay, sure, thank you." Don't worry, the rope said and flew away. Hee, sleeping with the owner, sleeping together. It happily patted the mattress. "It has been a long time since I have slept in a comfortable place. So happy, so happy." "Oh, who said that?" The rope jerked up, "You." The fox, the angry fox, is Dalji. "Dalji, I have a name, don't call me fox, even though I am a fox." Dalji said arrogantly, "You must have the intention of sleeping with the master." "I came here first, so give up that idea." The string replied irritably, What? "Mean, so mean. I prepared the bed for him. The fox turned his head away proudly. "Humph, you're just bragging about being good at housework, what?" Dalji spread his tail, looking at the rope with disdain. "Do you have a beautiful tail like me to look so graceful?" The rope angrily rolled up and said, "When I roll up like that it's very soft, very soft." The fox's face fell, "What, you're not soft at all." He licked his lips, how about this?" A cloud of smoke appeared. The woman smiled, hi. There's no way that transforming into a human wouldn't attract the attention of its master. It would be strange if he wasn't attracted to a beauty. Dalji transformed into a human with a charming hourglass body, but its 9 tails remained. "You can't do it? Give up, limp rope, I can't do it." It turned away gloomily, wishing it could turn into a human. Dalji sat on the bed and laughed at it. "Oh, are you going?" "That's right, you chose right." The fox licked his lips, hee, just for today. Seo Ju-hien noticed. "Rope, why do you look so sad?" "Master, good night. Ju-hien entered the room. He angrily threw Dalji off the bed. "What are you doing here again? Your eyebrows are falling out everywhere, so I asked you not to come into my room anymore." But the rope was still frustrated. "I want to turn into a human. It went to the black dog. Wake up, ah." Anubis shouted, What are you doing? Teach me how to turn into a human." The dog was puzzled by his suggestion. What was there to point to? Any S-rank artifact would do. Of course, no matter what form it takes, it can turn into a human. The rope suddenly, isn't it strange? Anubis continued, "Only those with unique abilities can. Even though I'm already rank S, I still can't do it. Why? The dog turned away. You didn't originally reach that rank. Maybe you mutated, you wouldn't know. But just in case, teach me. No, why, you're so annoying. Stop being curious and be quiet, you are just a mutant." Anubis' words angered the rope. It wrapped around Anubis' neck. "Tell me now, tell me, Hey, let me go, you crazy person, tell me. It's clearly a low-level artifact, yet he's treating a high-level artifact like this. Is there no order here? It's really messy." The chained bird in the corner glanced disdainfully at the 2 artifacts. A thought crossed his mind, I have to escape, I can't stay in a place like this. It seemed that Crazy String was obsessed with transforming. I must take advantage of that to get things done. On the other side, the proud and noble Anubis has turned into a miserable, deformed dog. "Look, rope, Let me help you," the rope still around Anubis' neck asked again, really? "Whether it is true or not, listen to my request, what is it? Thoth held out his legs. "Look, your master has chained me like this. If you can unchain me, I will show you how to become human." If the rope had a face, it would be puffing up its cheeks in protest. No way, you'll run away." The bird glanced at it, well, it didn't seem so stupid. But the bird still tried to convince it, I need to be released to show you the transformation. That damned human used his strength to tie me up so I couldn't move. Still, the rope turns away. Wait, I have another way to help you, another way. Thoth looked after it. Oh, how? A tempting fried chicken appeared before it. What, chicken? The angry bird roared, do you think I'm like those dogs? Okay. A bag of assorted seeds. This is mixed cereal, you will like it, right? The bird trembled with anger, am I a chicken? Thoth, you bastard, don't fool yourself. The other animal stepped forward, making the bird jump. Don't you know that there are many eyes watching you here? If you escape, we will hunt you down too. Thoth flapped his wings in anger and scolded, you lunatic. Set said, what do you mean, crazy? You think I have to watch you? It turned its head to look at the rope and called. Hey, rope, do you want to transform? Rope quickly replied, yes. Don't mind that bird, go find that worm. It knows a lot of relationships and can find some ancient artifact to help you. The rope was happy, really. It quickly ran away, conveniently punching the bird. Cash and coins, someone counting each one. 1, 2. Bang, the rope opened the door wide and scared the worm to death. Squeak. Oh, you scared me. Open the door quietly. I have a request. Teach me how to become human. Set said he could help me. The worm sighed in response, he really pushed all the work onto me. Sorry, but I don't think I can do it. Shapeshifting is a natural ability. I know it only exists in high-ranking artifacts. The rope still hadn't given up hope. It asked. He said he might know an artifact that could help me. Do you know anyone? Anyone? The worm pondered. An artifact. You mean a shapeshifting artifact? If you use that transformation artifact, you can only change your appearance. The rope asked happily. Where is it? Tell me. Please. You really want to turn into a human that way, you really do. I've been thinking about this for a while, but you're weird. Then a thought flashed through the worm's mind. Wait a minute. Doesn't it look desperate? This could be an easy money-making opportunity for me. The worm made a noise. Ahem. Okay. Let me introduce you to the transformation artifact. The rope swung. Oh, really? But I want my fee. Nothing is free in this world, right? How much? The worm laughed evilly. Foo. It's simply 100 million. It adds units. Dollars. While Jaeha was busy getting his phone back from the holy relic, Ju Hyun's phone suddenly rang. He took out his phone and realized it was an unfamiliar number. What was going on? Whose number was this? Even though he didn't know who was on the other end of the line, he picked up the phone. Hello. He immediately heard the other person's voice. You're SEO Ju Hyun, right? I am Jacob Gray. As soon as he heard the other party's name, Ju Hyun's eyes showed surprise. Because this character is a very influential character. He says he is Jacob Gray. He is the President of the United States. Why is the President of the United States calling me? Jacob Gray called you with a request. I want to meet you as soon as possible. Through Matthew Tyler, you requested a meeting with me, right? Oh, yes. Ju Hyun replied in a low voice. But I got stuck in a crypt on the way there. At this time, Julian Miller happened to pass by. Seeing Ju Hyun's serious expression, he asked him. Who is it? President Jacob Gray, Ju Hyun replied in a low voice. Just like CO Ju Hyun. Julian heard the name. His voice was filled with surprise. What? What does he want? I don't know. Let's listen. CO Ju Hyun immediately turned on the speaker so they could both listen. At this time, Lee Seola was also there. On the other side, Jacob Gray continued speaking slowly. I apologize for this. But on the way to the meeting place, you suggested getting out of Tyler's car, right? You choose like that, you won't be stuck in this crypt and you will take all our artifacts. Ju Hyun was surprised that he was able to hit the nail on the head. Damn, he knew he had taken all the relics from the Pentagon. Despite his nervousness, he tried to stay as calm as possible to talk to him. What are you talking about? But it really couldn't fool Jacob. Don't try to lie. There is a holy relic which is the silver temple of the pavilion hidden inside the Pentagon. And I also found out that the holy relic is owned by Pandora. The holy relic is registered by Julian Miller. You worked with him before, right? Jacob said this part, making Ju Hyun really unable to deny it. He turned to Julian Miller and questioned him. What did this mean? Did he register the holy relics under Pandora? Yes. It was not illegal. Julian replied in a low voice. Seeing Julian Miller's calm expression when answering that question really pissed Julian off. What was he thinking? Why would he register confidential information with Pandora? Julian Miller was yelled at by a Seojian and argued back loudly. I just remembered the memory, so I didn't understand until recently. I thought that the law created by the international organization would be kept secret. Hearing the other party say this, Julian was really speechless. Wow, I'm so proud of you. Sooner or later, you will have to go there and definitely get the report. Until then, do not use the reported artifacts. Julian had to do as Julian said even though he didn't want to. Okay, I get it. Jacob on the other side continued, all of our relics are being sold on the Pentagon. And everything is sold as soon as it appears, we can prove ownership. So, return all the artifacts to us. It's not hard to guess what he's asking. Ah, I knew it. This time, Julian actually agreed to compromise so quickly. Okay, we'll give it back. His answer satisfied Jacob perfectly. Well then, we don't need to drag this out any longer. I'll give you the time and address for the meeting. Bring all the relics. Okay. The conversation ended quickly. Seola was surprised to hear him talking like that to Jacob. Boss, are you going to return all the artifacts? But it turned out that she was worried too soon, of course not. My plan is, I'll fake everything and bring it to them. You don't have to worry about anything. Julian heard that and immediately spoke up to stop him. What, he would only make this worse. Julian has calculated everything. Now he needs Jaeha's help. Don't worry. I will make a copy that is exactly like the real thing. Slave number 1. It's time to work. You have to do it quickly. Jaeha, who was wrapped in ropes, asked loudly. What to do at this time? Julian still had one more question. If he only wanted to bring fakes, then why did he want to meet them in person? The reason Julian was so confident in meeting them in person was because he knew. He thought they would immediately recognize that this was a fake. Of course not. And honestly, I didn't want to meet them. I thought I could get more information from the president. Right after the conversation with the president, the plan to fake the artifacts began. This was the perfect time for me to check the Da Vinci relic that I sent to Jaeha. Da Vinci could not only imitate the appearance of relics, but also their abilities. The fake relics made by Da Vinci would definitely look exactly like the real thing. I don't expect to achieve perfect results in a short time. Moreover, it takes perseverance and intelligence to be able to use the Da Vinci relic, because many people have tried but failed to control it. And it would be difficult to copy everything perfectly because it would take a lot of time to use Da Vinci. The first time he tried, Jaeha looked very nervous. As evidenced by the number of the holy relics he needed to forge, he was shocked. I have to do all of these? It's too much. Boss. As for Julian, I can't wait to see the birth of a master con artist. Jaeha is always busy creating. Right? Boss, am I doing it right? As expected of a master con artist, he completed the job on time. You really did not misjudge the person. Is there anything else I need to do? I'm done, right? Jaeha said lifelessly. Jaeha's part is done. Now it's SEO Julian's turn. You can rest. Now it's my turn. As Jaeha was about to leave, he noticed the item in Julian's hand. Wait, isn't this an antiquity? That's right. I didn't just give them fake relics. I also wanted to give them a priceless gift for President's Day. How kind of me, right? Just thinking about it made him excited. Jaeha beside him looked extremely worried. Wasn't he going too far? Finally, the artifacts that were exactly like the real thing and the Calamity artifact were completed. And even meeting the president came. The car loudspeaker blared the news that, breaking news, the excavation team involved in digging the King's Valley had gone missing. The Austin Rockefeller team had announced a reward of hundreds of millions of dollars. Lee Seola heard this and turned to them and asked, why didn't anyone notice that the tombs had been excavated? Julian shared her thoughts. You're right, the Americans don't know that we've excavated those catacombs. They don't tell the media. Julian also chimed in, it seemed like they were too busy thinking about the missing artifacts from the Pentagon. Maybe this would be announced in a day or two, when President Gray brought the artifacts back. One more thing, now that I think about it, isn't President Gray getting re-elected 5 years from now? Yeah, it looks like the future changed again. It seems he wants to start another war. I don't know, Julian's eyes immediately became a bit more serious when talking about this matter. Jacob Gray rose to power as the war between the relic hunters raged. He eventually became one of the reasons that led to the World War. And the reason Kira, the god of war, can do whatever evil he wants, with the help of the president, who is behind Kira in the war. That's the real Gray. He's ruthless and unpredictable. We'll get there soon. That's why he wanted to remind them to prepare well. Because we're about to enter the tiger's den. The White House, the residence of the US president. Ju Hyun and Julian Miller were already in the conference room waiting for him. Where are the artifacts? President Jacob Gray immediately got straight to the point as soon as he appeared. CO Ju Hyun politely stood up and greeted him. Ha, I can't believe that's your first words in this meeting. You seem to be losing your patience. Don't worry, I brought the relics from the Pentagon, he said as he placed a large bag on the table. Jacob Gray was very wary of him. I don't think you'll keep your promise. There are rumors about your bad character, so I have to be careful. Ju Hyun smiled and denied it when he heard that. The rumors about me being bad were all nonsense. His words made him feel a little funny. Ha, it seems so. At the same time, another group also entered here. Ju Hyun couldn't help but wonder when he saw them here. Who were these people? Jacob immediately told him that they were from the Restoration Institute. I invited them here to test if there is any damage to the artifact. Jacob said these words, but Ju Hyun understood clearly. I know you can't lie to me. I know you invited them here to test if the artifact is real. Simply put, the Institute of Restoration is a place to study prehistory. They come from a group of talented historians who consider themselves to know the world well. Their group holds a key element that makes other historians incompetent. Nevertheless, their ability is impressive. As he had heard about President Gray, he would not be easily persuaded. Unfortunately, these were replicas of Da Vinci's artifacts. They would love it. It was all within his expectations. The artifacts were displayed before them one by one. The restoration team silently examined them. What do you guys think? Jacob asked nervously when they didn't say anything. After a thorough examination, the restoration team was able to confirm that nothing was fake. Sorry for our rudeness. It's okay, it's good to be careful today. Since Jacob said so, of course he didn't mind. Thank you for understanding. Now the US president has some respect for you. You have proven those rumors wrong. It is a pleasure to continue working with you. This feeling is hard to describe. Let's get some more information. That's the real purpose of this meeting. Oh right, can I tell you something? Jacob didn't intend to refuse. Oh, sure, please sit down. Thanks. Ju Hyun doesn't get to meet the US president very often, so of course he had to talk for as long as possible. CO Ju Hyun was about to sit down when he suddenly saw a beam of light flying out from his pocket. Jacob saw Ju Hyun standing there still and asked, "What's wrong?" "Ah, nothing," Ju Hyun replied in a low voice. "It feels like an artifact just ran away, but I have to focus on talking now, I can't miss this opportunity." Just as Ju Hyun had guessed, his artifact was running out, and it had just had a slightly painful landing. "Who dares to throw me out like that?" the angry puppy howled. Suddenly, another voice rang out, "Damn it, show yourself." At this time, someone also discovered it, Anubis. Anubis slowly approached and was shouted at by the other party, "Get out quickly." "You, what is this, who is this?" Done, the next second, Anubis was ambushed by the opponent. The sword from somewhere stabbed straight into Anubis's body, causing him to feel pain. You. Hee, goodbye, Anubis. When did these two artifacts get here with Anubis? Damn it, how dare you do this to me? The powerful master will kill you, Anubis said angrily. They surrounded Anubis, threatening him in cold voices. You will die and disappear. Any last words? It has stabbed you right in the middle. What the hell? Anubis' body was shaking non-stop after being stabbed by the sword. How dare you attack your friend? Do you think the master will just stand by and watch after knowing this? Anubis wanted to fight back, but his current strength did not allow him to do so. The next words of the beasts made Anubis even angrier. Who do you say is the master? Who else but the one who asked me to do this? The master ordered us to do this. You are no longer of any value to us. You are no longer Sao Ju Hyun's property. The master asked us to find the remaining Egyptian artifacts. He said they were all trash. It was your fault that you died. Artifacts that bow to humans would be killed by the master. Anubis screamed in pain. It's not fair. I didn't bow to Sao Ju Hyun. I even followed my master's orders to kill him many times. No matter what he said, the holy relics still didn't pay any attention to a word. You think we care? You said it so many times. So why didn't it work every time? The moment they pulled the sword out of Anubis' body, the pain it brought made Anubis want to die on the spot. Farewell Anubis. Anubis' body also began to transform into its original form. Mom, my body, it's starting to fall apart. They're fading away, it looks like I'll end up like them. I tried my best, but I still die like this. Anubis really couldn't accept it. Just then another voice suddenly rang out, asking Anubis what was going on. It's a rope, a rope. The rope caressed Anubis's face as if assessing its situation. It came here because I was emitting an unusual amount of energy. Does it hurt? I'm dying, Anubis replied painfully. You must be healed. I can't take it any longer, send my words to Seojian. Anubis' body has already half disappeared. But I'm afraid I haven't conveyed it enough until that day. But the rope doesn't want that to happen. You can't die. Listen Rope, the most important information about those guys. Rope urgently wants to find Julian. Stop talking, your body is dissolving. But Anubis seems to be exhausted, now or never. In the midst of the danger, the Rope and Anubis also encountered humans. Hey, look, isn't that an artifact? Why is there an artifact here? It seems like today is our lucky day. The appearance of humans makes the Rope flustered, don't come near. Motherfucker. No, puppy, Anubis' body had completely disappeared and only its original form remained. The human happily went forward to pick it up. Great, this artifact can change shape so it's easy to carry. The master will definitely be pleased if we bring it to him. The Rope immediately stopped them. Let me go, my arm will break. At the same time, he sent a signal to Seojian, Master, I'm in trouble, big trouble. Damn it. On this side, Julian was still talking to Jacob. As he said, America asked the god of fate to see the future. We received positive information. We can actually share the information with you, but there's something you need to do first. You will help us explore the prophesied tomb. For this, Julian is not too difficult. Initially, you will agree with him, no problem. But the purpose behind it is, I will definitely betray you later. While speaking, Julian suddenly heard a signal from his artifact, the master. He turned around and looked outside. This action of Seojian made Jacob somewhat confused. Julian Miller also asked worriedly, what's wrong? Is something wrong? No, I thought I heard something. Julian replied in a low voice. But the sound repeated again. Master, I'm in trouble. Hearing this, Seojian couldn't calm down anymore. Sorry, but I have to stop the conversation for a moment. Something must be happening out there. Julian left in a hurry. Seola and Jeha were sitting on the couch when they suddenly heard the door open. Turning around, I saw Julian entering. Are we done meeting? Not yet, I want to check a few things, Seojian said in a low voice. The wire sent me some signals. I guess something's going on out there, he said worriedly. Jeha was a little confused when he heard that, the signal. Wait, are you sure you can leave the meeting like this? Julian said urgently. Yes, something happened, I have to go check it out. I can feel the Rope energy nearby. They must be outside the compound, let's go. He quickly led them out of the compound. As soon as I got out into the courtyard, I heard the sound of the Rope. Get out, don't touch. I can feel its energy nearby. The Rope is trying to stop those people from getting closer to Anubis. Don't come any closer. What's the matter? Julian asked them. The Rope immediately recognized the owner when it heard the familiar voice. You're finally here. Rope, what are you doing here? Seojian asked it again. He quickly recognized the two men, they were from the Restoration Institute, right? That's right, we came here because there were many reports of damaged artifacts. They turned to Seojian and spoke calmly. You can see for yourself here, but this rope keeps us from getting close. Julian then realized that his artifacts were all damaged at the body. Who did this? Worry was evident on his face when he realized that. Jeha was also very excited when he found out. Wait, is that artifact Anubis? Just as Jeha said, it was Anubis. He meant this. Seeing the other party holding it up like that, Jeha became even more agitated. Be careful, he had to assess the level of damage first. They heard that and said unhappily. I'm just holding it, you're making too much noise, and we're more capable of fixing it than you are. Being insulted like that makes Jeha very uncomfortable, huh? Do you guys have a license? According to Pandora's law, only professional restorers can repair S rank or higher artifacts. Are those guys actually using Pandora's law to talk to you? If you crazy people like you keep it like that, the artifact will shatter in an instant. When it comes to artifact, Jaeha's attitude is much more serious than usual. What do you mean by that? Now I guess, you guys are the ones who got Professor Jang arrested, right? As soon as this name was uttered, Jaeha's eyes showed shock. He is our respected master in the restoration industry, you think you are better than him. Going to restore this artifact, so get out of here. Being continuously provoked like this, Jaeha was really annoyed. Jacob Gray was also there. He immediately suggested that they should do it, they were the best in the restoration department, so the result was certain. Seo Ju-hyun was very unhappy with his words. He directly refuted, saying that if he said that, then he would underestimate my restoration skills. Okay, please. But it seems that your companion is even more agitated than you. If you guys think you're so good, then fix the artifact right away. Hearing that, Ju-hyun quickly turned to talk to Jaeha, this guy. Hey, what if the artifact was destroyed by them? But because Jaeha was too agitated, he said that, then, but they drove me crazy. As for this, Seo Ju-hyun didn't mean to blame him, he was right, we can let this go. As he said, you guys try to restore it now, but if my artifact is damaged in your hands, Seo Ju-hyun specifically warned the restorers. Then I will not let you off easily, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life. Those guys are still very confident right now, threatening us won't work, we are the best restorers left. We will show you what real power is. The restoration of the relic has begun. Ju-hyun also had something to ask Jaeha, what do you think, if they successfully restore Anubis, won't you be in trouble? But Jaeha confidently replied, don't worry boss. Jaeha's eyes were filled with confidence as he spoke about this matter, these people. It would be impossible to restore Anubis, and just as he had predicted, the restoration group was completely unable to do anything. What was going on? Why was the restoration unsuccessful? I already knew you two would fail, Jaeha said sternly to the two of them. I knew from the moment you rudely picked up the artifact, you didn't even know what was wrong with it, right? It's not just broken, give it to me, I'll try. These people think that if they can't do it, then others can't do it either, you won't be able to do what we can. Jaeha bluntly replied with a harsh sentence, give it to me, you can't do anything with it anyway. Even Seo Ju-hyun found this very difficult and dangerous. Restoring a damaged antique was not easy. Technically, it was completely different from repairing a normal antique. But if it's him, there's still a possibility, he's you Jaeha, the scammer, the question is can he do it? If he fails too, then I'll lose Anubis, but what's more worrying is how much it will hurt him. Yu Jaeha was also under a lot of pressure when restoring Anubis, I lost all my confidence after competing with Jang Richard, still in control. But you can't help it, yes, I already know exactly which part needs to be restored, let's try. As soon as Jaeha touched the pen to Anubis, a powerful energy suddenly radiated around, overwhelming even someone like Ju-hyun. The other two were also surprised by it, what was it? And this actually worked on Anubis? Huh? What's going on? This feeling, my human body is slowly returning to its original state. Now Jaeha could breathe a sigh of relief, it worked, like this Anubis could be saved. The pen in his hand also spoke up to remind him, Master, what is this, it's too difficult, I'll stop here, the restoration process will be completed soon. Okay, I'll stop because I don't have much stamina left, I stopped Anubis from disappearing. Well done guys, anyone want to say anything? Now you can speak up in front of the crowd. No way, what happened? Anubis can now transform back into that puppy. I thought I was dead, but you guys restored me just in time, you damn humans. Rope was so happy to see Anubis recover, puppy. You're saved, stay away from me, motherfucker. Very good, slave number 1, Ju-hyun is also very proud of Jaeha. And of course, Jaeha is also very proud of himself, when you have the restoration items, remember to come find me. Who would have thought that before he could be happy for more than 3 seconds, he heard Seo Ju-hyun say that he had a cold and that he should go restore the remaining broken antiques. It really makes me angry, why are you so unreasonable, you always pile up work for me. Consider it as experience, I'm sure your ability will increase after restoring all of them, Ju-hyun said calmly. Well, that's true, but it's still difficult. After being humiliated by Jaeha, the group of people reluctantly left. Let's go. Seo Ju-hyun did not forget to mock them a few more sentences, you guys are leaving, shouldn't you say something before leaving? You guys just insulted my restorer, who just successfully repaired the item you guys made. We're sorry, that's what they wanted to say to Jaeha for looking down on him. After that, they fell completely silent, their honor crushed. They were so arrogant and claimed to be the best restorers in the world, which made them even more stupid. I went back to the conference room and ended the meeting with the president. I told him what TKBM did in the mausoleum, that TKBM tried to take the Pentagon's relics for himself. This information was also false. After hearing my fake news, he seemed angry. I was sure the government wouldn't let Quan meditate, and of course Quan had to escape the coffin first. I have sold a lot of fake antiques and gained a lot of useful information. At the meeting I brought back a lot of things. It's been a long time since Julian had some free time. So tired, but today I have to enjoy it. It's really fun. Just turned around and saw Anubis standing at the door. What's wrong, puppy? Do you have something to tell me? Anubis hesitantly said, no, nothing. I just want to thank you for saving my life. That's what it wanted to tell you. So that's what it was about, but Julian didn't care too much about it. You don't need to thank me, but Jeha. I told him. He said you were the one who brought him to the campus and told me to thank you too, Anubis continued. Thank you very much. I will not forget your kindness for the rest of my life. From now on, I will regard you as my master and obey your orders. If Anubis said so, then you have to make full use of it. It seems you were sure about this. Alright, here is the first order. That's fast. The mission you want to give it is, do you remember the question that killed Seo Julian? Mentioning this, Anubis felt a little embarrassed. Yes, it's my dark past. Even though there was only a small piece of paper in your confusion, I was still bothered by those who tried to kill me out there. But it seems he's not affected, that's what he thinks, but the truth is, no, it's really annoying, so much so that sometimes he even has nightmares about it. What order? That is the seed you must sow, clearing up the mess that statement causes. This will be your first task. Anubis immediately took orders from him. Yes, master. In the empty warehouse. The man is being chased by another man, damn it. Give up, you can't escape me. This familiar voice belongs to none other than John Smith. With him was also Seo Julian's familiar rope, tie him up, obey. Immediately, the rope wrapped tightly around the opponent's leg, causing him to fall to the ground. John Smith held the other party's file in his hand and said in a low voice, let's see, Evan Goldman, 34 years old. Looks like you're the drug dealer, right? Evan Goldman asked, trying to untie the rope. Who are you? You were ordered to kill Seo Julian, why didn't you do it? John Smith asked Evan. I'm your client, John Smith. Evan heard his name and laughed out loud. What? So it's you. Why are you so impatient? I'm just getting ready. If you wait any longer, I will kill him for you and sort out all his artifacts. Evan did not know that when he said this, John Smith's face became unsightly. Evan originally thought that John Smith was on his side, but what happened was completely contrary to what he thought. Indeed, you need to be taught a lesson. How dare you insult my master? Making him panic. What, master? So Seo Julian is your master? Wait, then why did you make that request? John Smith immediately ordered his holy relic, deal with it, Tutankhamun. Obey, you will suffer the consequences of disturbing your master. No, stop, that's ridiculous, you're the one making the request. Evan said loudly in fear as Tutankhamun's curse was coming down on him. What is this? As soon as Tutankhamun's prayer was fulfilled, Evan's body was immediately covered in a stream of liquid. Immediately after that, Evan's body was slowly evaporating. That was Tutankhamun's wish. Now your lifespan will decrease very quickly. And in the next second, his body had petrified into the same form as Tutankhamun. Oh, he's dead already. Enough, let him go with the rope. After finishing the task, the rope quickly turned around to ask John Smith for money. Pay me for overtime, pay me. Now you think of nothing but money. Here, 501, the rope just saw the money and his expression became cheerful. Money. John Smith secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately the boss scolded him, otherwise he would definitely run out of money. Julian had reminded him earlier, understand rope, asking for money is normal, but asking for too much is not good. And I let you do a few things, really, right, so don't charge too much, okay? Got money, the rope is really a greedy holy relic. It seems very enthusiastic about making money with John Smith, who is the next target, Anubis, wait and see. At this moment, inside the TKBM organization's meeting room, the atmosphere was very tense. What was really happening? Why did all of our people suddenly disappear? They were reportedly cursed. What curse? Someone must have attacked them. Each victim had something in common, they all received orders to kill Seo Julian. Most of the victims were in the process of preparing to attack Seo Julian, but instead, they were ambushed first. The answer is obvious, Seo Julian is our man, he is the one who caused this. Why are you so sure? Isn't it obvious? By the way, everyone's mistake was letting him become the boss. What, you agree too, right? No, I'm just saying that you can't follow the system of those artifacts. Unisai sitting here listening to them argue really made him confused. This is giving me a headache. There's been a lot of trouble, and Chairman Quan is still missing. Chances are his subordinates won't be loyal forever. They're definitely plotting something big against TKBM. I have to stop them before TKBM collapses. Just as they were arguing, a loud knock on the door suddenly rang out. His somewhat forceful appearance made the TKBM group feel uneasy. Who are you? The other party went straight to the point of coming here. Tell me where the relic security system is. Speak quickly, I need to cancel my artifact registration. As soon as they heard this, they strongly objected. What are you talking about? Do you think we will let that happen? So I'll make you tell me how to use it. It turns out that the person who kicked the door was Julian Miller. Just a wave of his hand was enough to destroy this room. Screams started to ring out. Save me. On this side, Ju Hyun was still silently monitoring the situation of his subordinates. He said with satisfaction, I didn't think Anubis would handle this problem so well. But Seola was a little worried about this. Was it okay to show off an ancient artifact like this? There's no doubt about its loyalty to me this time. It won't betray me like last time. Let it handle this. It's also to save time while we do other things. Yu Jae-ha suddenly had something to say. But boss? Saving time, does this kid also go back to work? His vision gradually shifted to Louis Martin, who was tied up and gagged beside him. Ju Hyun just heard his question. The first thought that came to mind was, yes, that was a stupid question. We would benefit greatly from it in America. We could also be in trouble if we let it fall into the wrong hands. Didn't you almost die because of it too? Hearing Ju Hyun say that made Jae-ha angry again. That's right. Hey kid, you better prepare yourself. I'm going to make you go through endless nightmares. Looking at Jae-ha's scary face, Louis's body involuntarily broke out in a cold sweat. Okay, your job is to keep an eye on it. At this moment, the phone suddenly rang. Leader? No, it was a call from the Ministry of Defense. Listen. Seola quickly picked up the phone. Huh? Why is it so noisy? Seo Ju Hyun frowned and said. He then heard Julian Miller report, Boss, I completed the mission. Where are you? Why is it so noisy? Ju Hyun asked curiously. He was told that I was in Pandora. Huh? Why are you there? I came here to request that the list of artifacts I stole be deleted. But instead, they started arguing. Seo Ju Hyun sympathized with him on this point. Yes, it was difficult for them to come to a conclusion. At least you're okay. Why did you call me? Julian called you to tell Seo Ju Hyun something. Oh, and I just learned some interesting news. There is someone here who was killed by Anubis. Yoon Si-woo was here too. I asked him about TKBM. It seemed like sooner or later something was going to happen. Ju Hyun was more interested in this story when he heard this. Did you ask for more details? Okay, do you remember Chairman Quan Sunj? Oh, yes. I think they are targeting TKBM's position since the chairman went missing. This information is very interesting. Yes, that Quan guy has 2 sons and a daughter. They each have their own company and live a lavish life. They really had nothing to do with the antiques trade. Because Quan was so successful in it, they had to live in his shadow. If he remembered correctly, they were also very good at using ancient artifacts. The 3 of them definitely could not be underestimated. Eldest son, Quan Sunj. Now that their father is missing, they must be planning something. And I don't think the 3 of them are close. They definitely don't work together. There must be internal conflict. This is a good opportunity. Ju Hyun's familiar smile appeared again. The smile of starting a new plan. This is Mr. Quan's eldest son. Quan Sunj. It was not wrong to say that he had no talent in controlling artifacts. Back then, Pandora had rated him as D rank in controlling artifacts. This time was no different. What did you say? Yang Chen. Sunj asked his subordinate in a low voice. Yang Chen immediately reported back that Miss Ju He said she had no interest in antiques. Moreover, she was still in school. Hearing this, Sunj couldn't keep calm. He raised his voice and said, Is this the time to think like this? The little girl doesn't even understand what's going on. Ah, yes. Hurriedly ordered Yang Chen. Go back there and persuade it. Yes. If my father had returned safely, I wouldn't have had to face so many troubles like this. Brother, are you sure you can't open it? The other party's question made Sunj even more annoyed. Cold warning. Yes, even though I am your son, I am not good at controlling ancient artifacts. Why are you still asking about that? Do you want me to take you to the sea? Hearing this, Yang Chen immediately apologized. Quan Sunj was specifically reminded Yang Chen to speed up the process. He might be able to open it, so we need her on our side. Act quickly before that idiot Quan Sunj pulls her onto his side. Yang Chen asked again, Sunj can't open it either? It really pisses Sung Woo off. How did I know? Why are you asking again? You're just making me crazier. Yang Chen looked at Sung Woo's madness and quickly bowed his head and said. Sorry boss, sorry. If you're done, then go to Juhi. I don't dare delay any longer. Leave immediately, obey. Sung Woo seemed to have great ambition. His father's antique must be his. He was his father's eldest son. Unlike the eldest and second daughter. The youngest daughter is quite good at controlling the artifacts. I was the one who taught them how to control them in the past. Yang Chen quickly arrived at Juhi's house. He quickly took out Seo Juhian's file for her to look through. This is Seo Juhian. She can see what he did in the report. He is a man without rules. And also a great danger to TKBM. We need your strength to fight him. Yang Chen keeps talking. And you're just looking at Juhian, Miss Juhi. Are you listening? I'm listening. He's so handsome. What is he doing? Quan Juhi is probably also captivated by Seo Juhian. Of course he is an archaeologist. Yang Chen said a little uncomfortably. Juhi still had no intention of paying attention to the other party. Completely focused on Juhian's picture. No, what was he doing now? Was he an artist or something? I don't know and it doesn't matter. This is not the time to be infatuated with his looks. It was only when Juhi heard this that her gaze gradually shifted to Yang Chen. He continued to show her pictures of Jaeha and Seola. These were his two subordinates. They were also trouble. Quan Juhi saw the photo of the two of them. Her eyes became even more interested. Wow, you Jaeha, I've seen him on TV before. Lee Seola, wait, he chooses people based on appearance. Oh my god, even Irene Hilton made them. Crazy, look at that dress, it's so beautiful. Yang Chen sat there watching her ramble on for a while. His expression became more and more unsightly. He shouted angrily. Miss Juhi, making Juhi jump. What? We're talking about rivals. Please be serious. Now you're back to talking to him properly. Calm down, my brother will deal with them. The problem is that the two of them are too different. Imagine if the second brother monopolized the chairman's relic. Could he deal with my opponent with that attitude? She and Sung Woo are TKBM's last hope. Yang Chen slowly persuaded her to side with Sung Woo. But Juhi herself. But I'm not interested in antiques. Even if you say so, Yang Chen still can't give up. Even so, come back and work for us. Sung Woo and I will solve all the problems. Quan Juhi heard this and looked at him with eyes filled with suspicion. Really? Of course, but you have to come back and work for us. A smile of victory gradually appeared on Yang Chen's face right after that. Success. With this, all of the chairman's artifacts will be in our hands. And we can order Seo Juhian's archaeological team. On this side, Seo Juhian is also keeping an eye on the three Quan brothers. Oh, shit, I want more information on what the three Quan children are doing. Julian Miller didn't understand why he wanted to do this. But why? It was because Julian knew that they were definitely fighting each other. The eldest son, Quan Sunj, definitely intends to take all of Quan's relics. The arrogant second son, Quan Sunj, will do his best to stop his brother from taking them. The third child, Quan Juhi, is not one to stand between the two brothers. She could be taken advantage of by her brother. I will take this opportunity to exploit them. And we will steal Chairman Quan's relics. I know where all of that old man's relics are hidden. He kept them inside an impenetrable security system. And he hid them where no one could find them. Even if I found them, I wouldn't be able to open them myself. Only Quan and his son could open that line of defense. That's why I haven't planned to steal his relics yet. But if the three brothers turn against someone, that's when the opportunity opens up. We will take advantage of the chaos and kidnap one of them to open the defense line. Julian Miller heard this and commented, how can he say all the things he intends to do? But to do that, we need to know their situation now. Seola heard that and immediately suggested, do you want me to keep an eye on them? If you've taken the initiative, then I have no objections. Can you keep an eye on them at the same time? I'll try. Just then, there was a sudden knock on the door. Juhian wondered, who is it? Let me go see. Who is it? Jaeha called out from inside, and immediately heard the other person's voice. Excuse me. Hearing this tone, he immediately recognized it as Ha! Korean? This man came to find Seo Ju-hyun. Is Seo Ju-hyun among them? Jae-ha heard that and turned to call Ju-hyun. Boss, he's looking for you. Then why didn't you open the door? Jae-ha quickly opened the door and asked the other person. What do you want from him? Are you Seo Ju-hyun? Quan Sunj asked with a smile. Of course the answer was no, me. No. I'm the one asking. What are you here for? Quan Sunj has no intention of talking to Jae-ha. The person you're looking for is Seo Ju-hyun. Well, aren't you Seo Ju-hyun? Tell him I need to see him. Hurry up, I'm busy. This arrogant attitude of Quan Sunj's is making Jae-ha start to get annoyed with him. What kind of guy is this? You can't meet the boss without an appointment. Please go home. He said and then mercilessly closed the door. Ignoring Quan Sunj who was yelling outside. What? Hey, don't close the door. Quan Sunj kept banging on the door outside and shouted loudly. Hey, you, who do you think you are? It really annoys Jae-ha. Huh, what a weirdo. Ju-hyun also came to the door at this time. Who is it? Just a weird name. Don't mind it. Jae-ha had just finished speaking when he heard Quan Sunj frantically knocking on the door. Do you know who I am? Who are you? This time the person who opened the door was the one he was looking for. You must be Seo Ju-hyun, right? You look different from the person just now. Quan Sunj said in a low voice. As soon as he saw the other person, Seo Ju-hyun immediately recognized him, this person. It's the second son, Quan Sunj. Quan Sunj quickly took out his business card and introduced him. Wait a minute, let me show you my business card. Here's my business card. You can recognize me from this. But Ju-hyun already knows everything about him. No need. I know who you are, Quan Sunj. Sunj didn't expect Seo Ju-hyun to know him, so he looked very surprised. Oh, you know me? Ha, it seems I'm very popular. Seeing him laugh with such delight, you can see that this brat has never changed, just like before. If you already know me, then it will be easier for us to talk. Seo Ju-hyun, come work for me. Quan Sunj went straight to the point of this meeting. He immediately took out money to recruit Seo Ju-hyun. I will pay you a decent amount. Oh, why do you want to hire me? Ju-hyun leisurely said. Jae-ha also came out to listen to the conversation. The thing is, my brother and I are fighting each other. I'm trying to succeed my dad, but he's getting in the way. So that's why you want me to be your ally. Yes, everyone knows how capable you are, how much you want. Just say a number, 1 billion won or 2 billion, Sunj said with a smile. Money is not important to him. Ju-hyun didn't reply right away. He thought to himself, this is interesting. I didn't think he would come to me like this. I thought he would say a number, but what Ju-hyun wanted to say was, don't mess with my kids. Sunj heard that and said in confusion. What? A kid? They are worth much more than money. Ju-hyun sternly warned the other party. Ju-hyun seemed to be disapproving of the amount Sunj had just offered. If you want to hire me, you should offer something more valuable than just a few dollars. His words took the other party by surprise. Hey, 10 million. No, I gave you 20 million. And you said it was a few dollars. And, I also introduced you to a beautiful girl. I thought that when I said this, he would agree, but I'm afraid that women are just a passing fancy to Seo Ju-hyun. Ju-hyun directly refused. I don't need that. I already have one. I don't need anyone else. As he spoke, he held up a picture of him and Irene for Sunj to see. Who should be surprised now? Damn, isn't that Irene Hilton? You really have the best. Seo Ju-hyun reassured him that don't worry, there are still many things I want. What? His answer was relics. Without beating around the bush, Ju-hyun went straight to the point. He wanted to cooperate with me because he wanted to take over his father's position. Right? That means he would get all the relics he had. Yeah, my dad has an excavation team. Before Sunj could finish his sentence, he interrupted. I don't care about that excavation team. If you take over his position, you have to give me half. Sunj got angry when he heard this. Half? Are you crazy? If I only have half of the relics left, then why would I hire you? In that case, Seo Ju-hyun will give him a little discount, okay 30%, but I will get to choose the one I like. Sunj listened and carefully calculated for a while, 30%, wait a minute, 1, 2. Ju-hyun looked at his series of actions, his expression a bit bored. I shouldn't let him do this, it takes too much time. Immediately spoke up, what are you waiting for? If you're alone, you won't be able to get all those relics, right? Okay, but I won't tell you the effects of the relics you'll get, you'll only get to see them before you get them. Sung Jae offered him a compromise. He was able to come up with a favorable request in a short period of time. Ju Hyun had a high opinion of the other party in this regard. So the agreement between the two of them was quickly established. Okay. Quan Sunj received So Ju Hyun's approval and clapped his hands in satisfaction, saying good, good. So, our deal is done. Sunj didn't know that his previous condition was completely useless against Ju Hyun. The Divine Crow would give him information about all the relics, so this request wouldn't affect him at all. So he happily suggested, let's discuss the details. Like the others I hired, you guys should serve me a cup of coffee right now. Jae-ha originally intended to advise Seo Ju Hyun, boss, don't you think it's best not to let him get involved, he's an idiot, no matter what you do to him. But Ju Hyun didn't mind that too much, this wasn't a problem, we accepted the offer, so we had to discuss the details together. Alright, come in, the second son of the Quan family heard this and leisurely walked in, even sneering, saying, this is something you should have done from the start. Seo Ju Hyun immediately asked someone to get him water, but it wasn't coffee like Sung Jae wanted before, but a can of energy drink. Sung Jae looked at it and said, don't you guys have anything else besides this? So Ju Hyun calmly replied, that's all we have, it's an energy drink, Jae-ha uses it when he's overworked. Furthermore, drinking water is not a problem now, do you have a plan in place, can you explain it to us? I'm sure your relationship with your brother has been broken for years. So Ju Hyun really knows the Quan family situation very well, right? Oh, by the way, I sensed a lot of precious relics around here. Ju Hyun gave the other party a puzzled look when he heard him say that. But he also happily replied, I sell them here. Sung Jae heard that and laughed loudly, teasing him, really, you don't sell them anywhere else? Even we keep normal relics at home and sell precious relics elsewhere. So you left them all here, huh? Wariness gradually appeared on Seola and Jae-ha's faces. When they saw the other side summoning power to strike here, well then. I will take all your relics. Sung Jae didn't know how much his actions had upset Ju Hyun, this bastard. Seo Ju Hyun still wanted to go easy on him, and even had the heart to remind him, hey, you're trying to steal from me, this wasn't included in the agreement. But Quan Sunj still didn't know the way, and confidently said, so what's the problem? Don't you know how this world works, I'm the strongest person here, so I can freely do whatever I want. You're very confident in yourself, huh? In contrast to Seo Ju Hyun's calmness, Jae-ha on the other hand appeared very displeased. I told you boss, I knew he would do something like this. Ju Hyun directly challenged the other party. Alright, go ahead and try. What? We are weak, no one is capable of defeating you. This statement of yours made Sung Jae's confidence increase even more. You are not as strong as they say. Jae-ha was panicking. Boss, what are you talking about? What if he takes all my relics? At this moment, two holy relics also came to ask. What's wrong? Master, why is it so noisy here? Sung Jae noticed the success. Oh, this relic looks really cool. You will be mine from now on, obey me. Sung Jae directly attacked Anubis. He wanted to control this holy relic of Seo Ju Hyun. What is this? Immediately, Anubis was transformed back to his original state, the pair of puppies returned to their original appearance. Ju Hyun naturally thought highly of him, he had an excellent dominating power. As expected of a member of the Quan family, he was much stronger than the others. That's simple, here we go. With that, Sung Jae directly sucked the two holy relics towards him. Hold on to them. This made the three Jae-ha worried, while Ju Hyun remained silent and didn't say a word. Boss, we're going to lose both of them, don't just stand there, do something. Boss, do something, both are. But in the next second, Sung Jae's facial expression immediately changed. His hand was slowly being affected by the holy relic, his hand, the damned piece of wood. The Quan family's second son seems unable to control these two powerful holy relics. His actions have angered the holy relic, how could you do this to me, you must be punished for what you just did. I will finish you. As soon as the holy relic erupted, it directly pushed Sung Jae away. He shivered as he realized his hand felt like it was on fire. What was it, his hand? The puppy was now walking closer to him. Die, the holy relic roared angrily. This scene was still the first time Jae-ha saw it, making him a little worried. What was going on? Ju Hyun had kept a calm expression all this time, he slowly said, simply because they wouldn't obey his orders because his dominating power wasn't strong enough. This pair of children are among the most powerful relics, just activating them costs a lot of energy, and even more to control them. Moreover, to control them, he must have supreme power to sever the relationship between them and their master. The more precious the relic, the more dominating power it requires. Sunj regretted it now, but it was too late. This couldn't be happening. In Pandora's list of dominating power, mine was higher than yours. He said that because he doesn't know Ju Hyun's true ability. So what? Is the reason he's confident in himself because of that list? Now, you will feel my inferior power. Ju Hyun simply stood there, but the energy he released was enough to make the opponent afraid. Sunj was completely overwhelmed by Ju Hyun's overwhelming power. It was impossible. Let Ju Hyun teach him a few sentences, believing in baseless information. What a fool. You're the one who really doesn't know how the world works. You don't understand what Pandora really is. Ju Hyun's performance just now even broke the furniture in the room. If you were me, would you show your full power to your opponents? The control power they know about is only half of my true power. I can't believe you came here so casually. You're really interesting. If it were anyone else, I would have ended it right here. But you are Mr. Quan Sunj, so I won't kill you. You have to open Mr. Quan's safe for me. This is the authority of a truly capable person. You should thank me. Sunj was extremely embarrassed right now, damn it. Besides, he had to pay for all the damages just now. His voice became difficult to speak at this point. What? What? Ju Hyun continued calmly. You turned my house into a mess. You have to pay for all the damages. What are you talking about? Aren't you the one who made my house a mess? Sunj protested loudly. But Ju Hyun just raised his fist and threatened. How can you talk to me like that? Call me Hyung. He immediately trembled and became obedient. Oh, I'm sorry Hyung. You have to buy me new ones for all the things here. You're done for if you buy the wrong brand. Oh, yes Hyung. Ju Hyun even specially called his holy relic. Come here rope. What's the matter master? What's the matter? So you want the holy relic to join in on this? You said you need money, right? Ask that guy. The rope brightened up when he heard about money. You'll give me money, right? Give me money. But Sunj, no, I just need to pay the damage fee. Ju Hyun said sternly. You also affect my relics, so it is your responsibility to make them happy, especially Anubis. You really make me angry. Aren't you going to do anything for me? Can I ask him for money? Can I ask him for money? Sure. He has a lot of money. Great. Give me money. Money. Sunj's nightmare has really come. No. No, Sunj shouted in frustration. But there was no stopping the rope from pulling out all the money in his wallet and even his bank cards. Money. Money. The Quan's second son tried to stop him, but it was no big deal. Don't take them out. Stop. The one who was happy was the holy relic, so happy. So happy. The one who was heartbroken was Sunj. Why did his relic have a bank card? As soon as the rope was swiped, Sunj's phone immediately lit up. Then came a series of messages that made Sunj cry. You successfully transferred 8 million to the Earthworm Company. You successfully transferred 10 million to the Earthworm Company. What the hell is going on? What kind of company is this? You successfully transferred 20 million to the Earthworm Company. Received a large sum of money. The holy relic happily left. I have received your transfer. He. Come on. Rope. Just a little more, you will get $100 million. Ju Hyun then spoke up. You've received a decent amount of money today. That's enough rope. You can continue tomorrow. I have business to discuss with this guy. Understood. Understood. Damn it. Thanks. Wait. Haven't you had enough? Sunj looked at Ju Hyun with a resentful expression. Ju Hyun replied without hesitation, well, it's your fault for coming here. Now, let's get to the main point. Do you have any plans to take over your father's position? What do you need me to do? Sunj's face brightened up at the mention of this. Actually I already have a plan. Just then Lee Seola suddenly walked in, having something to say to Ju Hyun. Boss, sorry to interrupt, but you have to look at this. It is the latest news about a powerful energy source that has appeared in some places in France. Investigators believe that the cause is one of the 7 catacombs. The Proud Catacombs. The French Prime Minister ordered the closure of the areas surrounding the catacombs. Ju Hyun's face gradually became ugly upon hearing this news. This was terrible. Why would one of the 7 catacombs appear at this time? Information is spreading everywhere. Competition to own this crypt will break out. I think it's most important to focus on this now. Seo Julian also has this thought. She's right. Just then Quan Sunj's phone rang. Oh. Wait. Someone is calling me. As soon as he picked up the phone, Quan Sunj's eyebrows furrowed. Hello. What? Excavation team. Deputy team leader Yang Chen. I understand. Let's wait and closely monitor the situation first. This is worse than the proud tomb. Julian wondered. Who was it? What did they say? Quan Sunj didn't intend to hide it from him. He immediately told Seo Julian, his brother and right-hand man. They planned to take over the proud crypt. Who is Yang Chen? The name you just mentioned. Ah, he is the deputy captain of my father's excavation team. He's always by my brother's side. It makes me sick. This Yang Chen character has Julian paying attention. That's how he exists. Yang Chen is a very ambitious guy. So ambitious that he is willing to betray his comrades. Now he is trying to build a relationship with Quan Sunj. He is definitely waiting for an opportunity. And when the opportunity is right in front of him, he certainly will. So Julian decided that tonight we will go to the first tomb. I will take the relics in the tomb. If you want me to help you become the heir, you have to listen to me. Sunj didn't like this. Damn it, he really just liked to do things his own way. But still have to agree with you. Okay, I'll listen to you. Good then, next target approved. Inside a sarcophagus in a crypt. But there was a man in there. Oh, me. He looked like a dried up corpse. I was hungry and thirsty. How long had I been here? Luckily, I always wear Achilles' ancient armor. If I didn't, I would have been dead long ago. No, now is not the time to think about these things. I have to find a way out of here. I can't stand it any longer. When will the rescue team come? I formed a rescue team to save me in situations like this. And my family. What are they doing? Why aren't they looking for me? At the same time, an excavation team is also here. Wow, this tomb is intact. It's really just like the rumors I heard. Yeah, we need to carefully study this tomb. The excavation team was busy cursing Seo Julian. But we researchers were grateful to him for keeping this tomb intact. The man inside the coffin was very upset when he heard that. What? What the hell were they thinking? Suddenly, a loud scream rang out. Ah, an earthquake. Everyone saw that and ran away in a hurry. I guess there are still some traps here. Get out of here. The man tried to create a signal to let them know he was here. Wait, don't go, save me. And the other people really realized. Hey, it seems like there are still people stuck here. He shouted loudly again and turned around. As for Julian's group, we quickly prepared to excavate the proud catacombs in France, but there was still a big problem standing in our way. The French government issued many orders to protect the proud catacombs, even the European Union joined in to supervise excavation teams coming from other countries. All major airports in Europe have tightened security. If we go now we will definitely be held up. So at this time, we won't be able to use private jets. Irene heard him say that and worriedly asked, oh no, what are you guys going to do? Julian tried to reassure her that, well, we have to take a regular plane, we have to blend in with the tourist group, I'll have Jeha make some fake IDs. Take care Julian, I'm worried about you. Don't worry, I'll see you again when I get back. Coincidentally, Jeha was standing right behind him. Julian calmly said, you heard it right? Do it quickly. It really made Jeha want to curse. I won't make you do it alone, so don't worry. Jeha's expression brightened up when he heard this. Really, who will help me? He already had a good partner, it would help him speed up the work. The person Seo Julian wanted to talk about was none other than Louis Martin. With this family, we can finish this job immediately. We will fake ID for everyone who comes to the crypt. Before, it was only Jeha who was complaining about his fate, now there is Louis too. It has always been like this. He is crazy, too much. And we will go to France by regular flight, for convenience of action. I took first-class tickets. I'm exhausted, so tired. Jeha looked exhausted, speechless. Seeing this, Seo Julian calmly replied that he could rest comfortably in this first-class cabin. If I don't say anything, Jeha will get angry. How can I sleep comfortably? It's all your fault. You always make me work too hard. I'm used to your lies. I won't make you do anything more. So shut up and go to sleep. You have to take care of your health. If you really care about my health, you shouldn't push me too hard. Julian didn't want to argue with Jeha anymore. He just said, do whatever you want. We'll be busy after landing. So be prepared. Suddenly, his eyes widened as he realized something. Ju Hyun quickly stood up and turned to look behind him. Wait, although it was very faint, this source of energy was very familiar. It must be Yang Chen. Just as Seo Ju Hyun had sensed, Yang Chen and Quan Sunj were in the economy class. It was really uncomfortable for a rich person like Sunj to sit here. Why were the seats on this plane so small? I couldn't even stretch my legs. The reason was because, well, this was economy class. Yang Chen explained that we had to blend in with these people to avoid any trouble. You don't want us to be forced to turn back right after landing, do you? Damn it, this problem can be solved with money, Sunj said uncomfortably. But Yang Chen sitting next to him retorted that there were many things that money couldn't solve, like what was happening with the 7 crypts. At this moment the plane also announced, "Attention passengers, we are about to land, finally." Seola also received news from Ju Hyun at this time. Yang Chen is here too? That's right. He was hiding in the economy class. Quan Sunj was here too. Even though I hadn't seen them, I could feel their presence here. This made her a little anxious. Are they following us? What should we do now? But Seo Ju Hyun could only say that we still don't know their plans. But we must definitely act first. This may be our chance to end our partnership with them. Now, don't let that guy know about this. He might mess things up. Okay. You and Jaeha are the only two who know about this. Get ready. Seola immediately received the order. Understood. Jaeha, on the other hand, didn't want this at all. I don't know anything. I just want to sleep. No, I'm sleeping. Ju Hyun immediately went forward and directly pinched his cheeks and pulled him up. Wake up, this plane has become a battlefield. Jaeha cried and said, I don't want to, can't I just live peacefully for one day? Wait, why is this plane a battlefield? We're 9,000 meters above the ground now. We could die. That's it. That's why I can't wait to finish them off right now. Now, what should I use to attack them? Right now, Jaeha was starting to regret joining Ju Hyun's group. I want to go back to my grandmother's house. Oh, Seo Ju Hyun unexpectedly found something pretty cool in his bag. It's been a long time since I used this. Should I? Long ago made a contract with the Hammurabi Code. I'll send this contract to Quan Sunj after he sees it. He'll definitely want to tear it up. But tearing up the contract is useless, because the contract is written in such a way that if it is destroyed by someone, it will bind it to that person. Ju Hyun ordered. Bring this to Quan Sunj with a rope. Understood, understood. Jaeha exclaimed in surprise. Your attack is more terrifying than I thought. Seo Ju Hyun asked again, what kind of attack do you want me to make? He replied, I thought you would just go and finish them off with your fists. Ju Hyun smirked, I wouldn't do that. This place is too cramped, we shouldn't attract the attention of the remaining passengers. There will be a lot of witnesses if we act directly now. It would be perfect to do so. The main purpose of sending the contract was to provoke him. In the economy class, there were 2 men sitting next to each other. One person bowed his head to work, the other turned his head to look around. Suddenly a sound caught the attention of the bespectacled man. Take it, take it. Yours, yours. The rope suddenly jumped out with the paper, making him startled. What is this? A relic, it looks like the one Seo Ju Hyun had. He took the paper and pondered. The string danced around. Read it. Goodbye, goodbye. Seo Ju Hyun's name was there. He said that hearing that name, the other person's face showed clear panic. He quickly rushed out to grab the rope, causing it to scream in annoyance. The bespectacled man was surprised. Hey, what are you doing? It must be his relic. I have to catch it. The rope kept screaming. Let me go, let me go. Let go, let go. The loud noise made the passengers in the cabin turn their heads to listen. Let me go, let me go. Shut up. The man gripped the rope in his hand and summoned his power. He pressed the string inside a piece of paper and said firmly, I will make this relic mine. Oh, what's the content of the contract? Huh, you're just now noticing this? The bespectacled man clenched the paper in his hand as if to show his displeasure. He wanted me to give up all my stocks, buildings, and money. Damn it. I'm sure he's on the same flight as us. He must be spying on us. We can't just sit here like this. Let's send some guys to scout him out. There are some of our men in disguise mingling around here. Seo Ju Hyun definitely doesn't know. I'll make this place your resting place. The in-flight meal was served. Steak with bread and juice was very attractive in color. Jae-ha said while chewing his food, the rope hasn't come back yet. Looks like it was caught by them. Ju Hyun didn't seem worried at all. If that's the case, then it's perfect. I have a lot of faith in the rope. He bowed his head and thought, no, Quan Sunj and Yang Chen couldn't be caught easily. Did they catch the rope? If so, they must have read the contract. If what I had guessed about their personalities was true, then I had definitely succeeded in provoking them. They would be here soon. Soon. Maybe even now. As soon as he finished speaking, a group of flight attendants approached him. The maid spoke up. Excuse me, sir. There was a complaint that someone was carrying dangerous goods. Could we check your passport? Hearing this, he chuckled, it was indeed true. Ju Hyun replied calmly, I feel the relics around here. He slowly enunciated each word, seemingly coming from his body. The concubines saw that they had been discovered and laughed gloomily. Your guess is completely correct. But suddenly Ju Hyun felt danger approaching. A kick hit him straight. Ju Hyun reacted quickly, he raised his hand to block it. The concubine had not yet had time to retract his leg. He smirked triumphantly. Ju Hyun propped himself up with his hands and assessed him. Damn, you're strong. I can feel a faint aura coming from you. His words hit them where it hurt. I guess you guys are running on cheap energy. Sad. The truth is your energy comes from drugs. Ju Hyun told Louis and Jae-ha. Hey, protect yourself. I can't guarantee your safety right now. He pulled out a sharp knife and held it tightly in his hand. He immediately assumed a fighting stance and taunted them. Come here. You drug users. The two sides began to fight. Ju Hyun quickly slashed out a powerful slash, with the cut causing the flight attendant to frown in pain. He lunged forward and grabbed Ju Hyun's weapon-wielding arm. Got it. But that opening was just a trick he used to lure the enemy. As soon as his hand touched him, he used all his strength to kick him painfully as revenge for earlier. The guy lost control and flew backwards, slamming his back into the wall right next to Jae-ha. The suddenness of the incident left him gaping in shock. Jae-ha crouched down and tried to crawl away. I have to get out of here. I have to run. But where should I run? It's too small here. Things weren't looking good on the other side as Ju Hyun was being held by another guy's neck. He was choking and shaking. Get your damn hands off him. Seola suddenly rushed over with a stick in her hand. She shouted. Don't touch my boss. She used force to hit the guy on the head, making his eyes roll. Ju Hyun finally got out. He praised. Good job, Seola. Boss. You should be careful. She continued worriedly. We can't act freely here. Ju Hyun rubbed his neck. This is so annoying. This plane is too cramped for combat. I can't move. It's so uncomfortable. And most of all, I can't use the relic freely. Ju Hyun gritted his teeth in frustration. Damn it, if this wasn't a plane, I could have easily taken them down with my strongest relics. But if we use them here now, the plane will be damaged. If it is damaged, many innocent passengers will die. Just one of my powerful relics can easily destroy this plane, the number I can use is limited. So they used the power-up relic to fight bare-handed, which was a smart choice. Quan Sunj really can't underestimate you. He dodged the attacks while thinking. No, this might be Yang Chen's idea, how should he attack them now? The door to the smoking room was suddenly pushed open from the inside. Quan Sunj said as he walked out. Ah, it feels so good. It's been a long time. Ha! Aren't you guys part of my father's excavation team? The sweating concubine, Mr. Quan Sunj, why are you here? Seeing that the two of them seemed distracted, Ju Hyun smirked, it was at this moment. The weapon in his hand cut through their bodies, his provocative voice rang out, apologizing for interrupting. Seeing that Ju Hyun's target was not them, the two of them worriedly shouted, stop him, protect Quan Sunj. Even that guy was surprised by this action. You, what are you doing? The sharp blade was pressed against Quan Sunj's neck. He threatened, listen to this you fools. He screamed in panic. You, Ju Hyun's voice continued to ring out. If you don't get out of here right now, I'll kill this guy. What the hell? The two flight attendants cursed in frustration. Damn it. Quan Sunj didn't understand what was going on. He had clearly just come out of the smoking room and was being held hostage. Tell me what's going on quickly. Ju Hyun continued to threaten. Shut up. We don't know each other. And I'm not kidding. Hearing that, the young master's face turned pale. His mouth opened in surprise. He was so scared that his whole body was shaking. Tears and snot were flowing. Ah, save me. Do something. The clock on the wall ticked. The boy was confused with thoughts in his head. Juhi is coming. Should I tell them? The incident happened a few days ago. Quan Sunj was taken hostage by Juhian. He shouted in fear. Ah, save me. Do something. I don't want to die here. The fake flight attendants turned pale when they saw that. Seo Juhian, you bastard. Let him go. Don't you know who you're holding a knife to? Juhian curled his lips provocatively. Of course I know. He's Mr. Quan's second son, right? And you guys think I'm scared? As soon as he finished speaking, the sharp blade in his hand pressed against his neck, causing blood to flow out. Quan Sunj trembled and shouted. Ah, save me. Stop. Save. Seeing that he was serious, the others compromised. Okay. Stop. We won't attack you anymore. But Juhian's voice made their faces freeze. You guys should have been good from the start. This isn't what I wanted. Tell me where Mr. Quan kept the relics. And stop all this harassment. Finally, transfer all of Chairman Quan's shares in the group. The leader seemed to not believe his unreasonable request. What? Relics and shares? Are you kidding? You almost want to take all of the chairman's assets. Why not? Are those things more important than the chairman's son? Then he started threatening. And if he was worth less than Mr. Quan's assets, he should be dead. Quan Sunj's hair stood on end. Ah, do it. Give him all my shares too. Okay, we'll give it to you. Now put the knife down. We'll fulfill all your requests when the plane lands. Louis and Jeha were stunned by this forced sale. Juhian's voice rang out. No, not now. I hate waiting. The other side shouted back angrily. What can we do while we're still on the plane? I wrote the requirements into the contract, he continued. Which I forwarded to your boss. Did you hear that? Right? If you want to save your sister, sign that contract quickly. The voice from the other side made Quan Sunj's face contort. Do you want your sister to die? I'll give you 5 minutes. He was so angry that he threw the thing in his hand to the ground. Quan Sunj was such a bastard. Oh my god, how could he throw away such a rare object? His body trembled. Why is he here? Yang Chan replied. I don't know. Maybe he followed us. Quan Sunj was completely helpless in this situation. If he had told me, he would have been safe by now. I didn't understand how he had been taken hostage so easily. He rested his forehead on his hand and thought. There was no other choice. Yang Chen was shocked when he heard that. You really intend to sign? This is the only way. Quan Sunj's voice rang out. Furthermore, this is just a normal contract. Signing this contract cannot harm us. He thought as he signed. We have to save Sunj first. After we get off the plane, we will find a way to change the situation. Let go of the rope and tell him to bring this to Seo Juhian. Yang Chen gritted his teeth and cursed. Damn it. The rope was released and jumped happily. Ha ha. Freedom. Freedom. Suddenly its attitude changed. What did you just do? Do you want to die? Yang Chen fearfully stepped back. Don't worry. We have a contract. So you take this back to your master. It continued, pay me the shipping fee, pay me the shipping fee. This request surprised him. You go ask your master for this. The rope replied. The master told me to get it from you, from you. Hearing this, Yang Chen felt unbelievable. This was crazy. He was too much. Not letting him finish, Quan Sunj handed over a stack of money. All right. Relic. Take this. This is about 2 million won. This is all I have. But he still wouldn't stop. He pulled out the card reader from somewhere. No problem. You can pay by card. Pay by card. This action stunned both of them for a few seconds. The rope's voice echoed throughout the cabin, attracting everyone's attention. You have to pay 30 million won. 30 million won. Quan Sunj's heart-rending scream responded. What? Hey, when did you take my card? Give it back to me. You can't do that here. The rope got what it wanted, immediately hugged the contract and flew straight up. Goodbye. Goodbye. Quan Sunj cursed under his breath. Damn it. Yang Chen's expression didn't look much better either. Damn rope. I knew I shouldn't let it go. Suddenly someone came up. Boss, something is wrong. The other man looked worried. Can we really land in France safely? Quan Sunj wondered. Who is he? Yang Chen replied. Oh, he is the leader of the foreign excavation team I hired. The European Union started to control all foreign excavation teams coming in, and I think we cannot excavate the catacombs relying on TKBM teams alone. So I hired a foreign team to help. Just think of them as a bunch of grunts. Since they were communicating in their native language, of course the guy didn't understand. He shouted angrily. What are you guys talking about? Tell me. Quan Sunj folded his arms and asked. What question do you have? The guy replied. I heard your men caused a ruckus in the first-class cabin. What if my team gets caught up in the chaos? There's a 90% chance we'll be affected by it. Yang Chen quickly said. I assure you this will not happen. The guy looked incredulous. Are you sure? What if this trouble gets bigger and we can't enter France? I agreed to do this with you guys for the money. Don't worry. I'm sure we'll get into France. But you can't guarantee it, so we'll do it our way. I'll do my best. So go back to your chair. But that guy just kept biting and wouldn't let go. Trying his best, with this attitude? Explain it to us in detail. This made Quan Sunj's face turn extremely unsightly. Damn it. Just you wait. Yang Chen explained anxiously. They often get into trouble everywhere, so they are sensitive to problems like this. Hearing this, he became even angrier. Then why did you hire such cowards? The guy kept asking. Why are you ignoring me? Answer my question quickly. Okay, I'll tell you the details. In contrast to the tension over there, the rope returned in a very excited mood. Master, I got it. I got it. Ju Hian quickly praised. Good, give it to me. Here. He slowly opened the contract in his hand. Oh, this was really his signature. The flight attendant spoke up. The young master has signed the contract now. Release Sun Jae. Ju Hian's strange voice rang out. Release him. He smirked. I said I wouldn't kill him. But did I ever say I would let him go? I'll hold him until we land. Ju Hian continued. And will release him after your master completes the terms of the contract. Seeing his attitude, the flight attendants had no choice but to compromise. Then we will stand here to ensure Sun Jae's safety. Ju Hian's voice rang out. Stand if you want. But if you want to sit, you have to clean up this mess first. Even though they didn't like it, they still had to clean up. They cursed under their breath while doing it. Damn it. Ju Hian thought to himself. I can use Quan Sunj to get out of this dangerous situation. Plus, while I'm on this plane, my safety will be guaranteed. The problem will come after landing. I can tell with how loud the rumors are about the group, there's a good chance the police have been alerted and are standing guard at the airport. Suddenly the leader of the foreign excavation team lifted the curtain and entered. He shouted loudly. Excuse me, let us pass. The flight attendant was startled when she saw him. Why are you here? I told you to stay calm and blend in with the passengers. The guy smirked. Oh really? This is no longer useful. The two of them were talking to each other. We asked the pilot to change to another cabin. Ju Hian looked up at them. What was he saying? Suddenly the flight attendant shouted. Don't be stupid. Chairman Quan Sunj is on the plane. The guy replied. This is none of my business. No one asked them to create a mess and affect our entry into France. As soon as he finished speaking, he shouted loudly. Charge, boys. Kill everyone who stands in our way. I will not let you pass. Ju Hian calmly observed the situation before his eyes. The terrorists suddenly appeared and attacked the TKBM group. It seemed like they were on the same side at first, but something went wrong and now they were attacking each other. Louis and Jeha shivered, hugging each other and standing close together in the corner. Boss. What do we do now? Oh my god, we're all going to die. Suddenly he said something that made Quan Sunj's face go blank. Damn idiot. When one charged, he quickly counterattacked. Ju Hian used force to kick that guy straight out. He shouted anxiously. Seola, Jeha, hurry to the exit. We have to get out of here. They quickly left that place. We have to go to the economy compartment. He would do something to stop them. His voice broke suddenly. The situation up ahead was no better. The fighting was fierce. It seemed that the fight was not limited to first class. The entire plane was a battle between the TKBM group and the terrorists. Passengers were running around screaming for help. Then he laughed. Ah, this is really a disaster. There is no possibility for this plane anymore. Hearing this, everyone panicked. You mean there is no hope for this plane? You don't need to explain further. That's the situation. Ju Hyun's voice rang out. The worst-case scenario was that the plane would crash. Jaeha's face paled at that. He was startled. Crash. Look. They're fighting over a foreign object. Among the people here, one of them must have a rare foreign object. He continued. If they get too excited about fighting, they might crash into part of this plane and make it crash. Jaeha shouted. No. Ju Hyun turned to look at him. We can't avoid this fall either. But if we follow the steps correctly, we can still survive. His eyes became determined. Now listen to me. I will explain the plan. The fight on the plane's decks continues to rage on. You fools. Can't you stop fighting? Quan Sunj frowned in annoyance. How dare they do it right on the back of my chair? Yang Chan replied. Sir. I think this situation is difficult to handle. He also gave Ju Hyun the same answer. The plane will definitely crash. He was startled when he heard that. What? Yang Chan's reassuring tone rang out. Don't worry. We can still use our relics. Just finish off the traitors and the disturbing witnesses. I have a pretty good plan for this. If we're lucky, we might even be able to finish off Aseo Ju Hyun. But, well, this isn't the time to hesitate. You're worried about the other passengers. They're all unlucky anyway. There's nothing we can do for them. He ignored Quan Sunj's pale face and pushed himself up with his hands. All right. Once we're ready, we'll start right away. Footsteps echoed through the chaos on the plane. Seol Ah accidentally caught sight of that leisurely figure. Yang Chen, what is he trying to do? She hid behind the door, calculating in her mind. No, the boss had ordered her to ensure the safety of the other passengers. There was no time to keep an eye on Yang Chen. Seeing Seol Ah approaching, the two passengers hugged each other in surprise. They were scared and begged. No, please. I have nothing. Please don't kill me. She reassured them. Don't worry. I won't hurt you. Seol Ah continued. The other passengers are gathered in business class. I can help you get through safely if you want to go there. Really? Thanks. Thanks a lot. Later, by the way, do you know where the other passengers are? It seems like there are still a lot of them there. They can't leave the place and I think a lot of them are hurt. Thanks. I'll be there. Okay. Be careful. She hurried away. She had to avoid getting involved in their fight and find the passengers who needed saving. I'm more worried about getting them out once I find them. Suddenly her train of thought was interrupted. The image of a girl with an extremely leisurely demeanor appeared before her eyes. Seol Ah was extremely surprised, it wasn't her. We are in a war so we will need to talk more. We will use it to heal our comrades. The arguing sound. Please help me. I am injured. Didn't I get injured while you were fighting? I don't think we hurt you so we're not responsible for your injuries. That's right. I'm sure those bastards attacked you. The child was frightened by those loud words. He trembled and tried to hold back his tears. The father suddenly became angry. No, I know you guys are holding a medical relic. Let me use it. Oh. Are you crazy? The sound of arguing mixed with footsteps. Stay out of my sight or you'll get hurt. Bastard. Suddenly the girl appeared with a tube of medicine in her hand. You need this? You need this medical relic to heal your wound, right? Then she applied medicine to his wound. The man exclaimed in surprise. Oh. It really worked. My wound is healed. The others saw this and immediately spoke up. Wait. Isn't that a relic? The customer called for help again. It's a miracle. Please let my wife use it. She's injured now. Okay. Where is she? Suddenly a voice interrupted her. Hey. Wait a minute. The guy asked us to see the relics. They look very similar to our team's relics. The girl laughed without paying any attention. Of course. I took it from you guys. They didn't expect her to admit it so frankly. They shouted in surprise. What? Look. They're all buried under there. Was it her doing? She put her hands on her hips and condemned them. Her whole body seemed to radiate a shimmering halo. How pathetic. They have medical relics but they don't use them to talk to the injured. The group of people felt like they had been stabbed in the right place and immediately rushed forward in anger. That damn woman. Finish her off. Bring out our team's relics quickly. The girl stood before their attack but remained extremely calm. His eyes became extremely fierce. His voice was full of disdain. Do you think I'm afraid? Saying that, she quickly kicked a nearby guy in the chest, sending him flying away. Unfortunately, I'm not as weak as you think. You're the first one to be killed. With that, she rushed forward again. The concubine was kicked straight in the body without having time to fight back. A loud laugh rang out. Ha ha ha. Give me all your belongings. I will use them to help the other passengers. Seola was hiding in the corner watching the whole scene. It was clearly Khloe. She was our team's doctor. I never thought I'd see you here. She's attacking and taking the relics of those terrorists. But it seems she's not allied with TKBM either. The battle finally ended. Khloe obtained countless relics in her hands. She walked towards the passenger who needed help. I will use the relic to help everyone. Where are the other passengers now? Seola watched for a while and thought. Look at them helping the passengers. We'll both be on the same side. I have to keep a close eye on her. Elsewhere, Julian crossed his arms and looked down. Hey you fools. You're not done yet. Jaeha yelled in frustration. Of course not. He gave me a mountain of new work in such a short time. Lewis protested. A slob. Why was I called a slob too? Too much talking. If you're not done, do it quickly. You talk as if you've already finished the job. Me. Of course. I've calmed down all the chaos around here, haven't I? Well, I mean I've protected all the passengers. Julian smiled brightly. Seola would definitely bring all the passengers to safety when she returned. I guess I've done my job. Jaeha just felt that smile was extremely annoying. I wanted to beat this guy up. Then he continued to focus on the task at hand. It's okay. We'll be done soon. Jaeha's voice rang out, but the fake passengers we found weren't perfect. Julian heard this and immediately changed his form and said, Don't worry, I'll help too. How is it, like this? Jaeha shouted in surprise. Stop, it's better if you stay quiet. Meanwhile, the chaos inside the plane is getting more and more out of control. I will take this opportunity to overthrow the image of TKBM. The plane will definitely crash because of their battle. The passengers are safe in Van Gogh. I will drop fake passengers on the plane so they won't notice anything. The real passengers will be leaving this plane with us. I don't just want to save innocent people, I also want to do something beneficial for myself. They all know that the TKBM group is the main culprit behind these things. Suddenly a voice called out. Sung Jae. Yang Chen entered the cabin and said, Here it is, hurry up. Ju Hyun provocatively replied, Do you think I will let that happen? He argued, The director signed the contract you gave him so you have the obligation to hand him over to us. Ju Hyun smirked, I said I wouldn't kill him but I didn't say anything about letting him go, right? I will return him when we get to the airport and I will make sure the contract is valid. Quan Sunj heard that and gritted his teeth in anger, You are so cunning. Yang Chen spoke up, Calm down director. He whispered his plan, This distance is enough, I'll blow it up. We just need to catch Sung Jae when we pass through here. His voice rang out, I'm sorry, so Ju Hyun, but you won't make it to the airport and you won't get anything that was written in the contract. Yang Chen's face gradually became distorted, he played with the lighter in his hand, because this plane was about to explode. Hearing that, Ju Hyun's eyes widened in surprise. Immediately afterwards, a huge explosion occurred, smoke and fire engulfed the entire plane. The explosion was so sudden and terrifying, the fire like a demon devoured the entire plane. Everyone's screams of panic rang out, What is it? Something is about to explode. Ju Hyun frowned, with this much damage, the plane would definitely crash, he didn't even have time for anything else. He tried to regain his composure and ordered, Get all the fake passengers out, we can't waste any time, we have to get out of here as soon as possible, quickly hold onto the rope. He shouted, Rope, tie up all the passengers and our teammates, do it until you run to the back of the plane, Seola and the other passengers are still there. Rope quickly responded, Yes sir, I will come back, I will come back. It rushed to grab the passengers on the plane. They didn't understand what was happening and were scared and shouted, "Ah, what is this?" Sunj was affected by the explosion and fell on the floor of the plane. He tried to sit up with his hands. Yangchen anxiously crawled closer. "Sunj, come here quickly. We will use the defensive relic." Sunj heard that and immediately realized their plan. What? He was the one who intentionally set up this situation. Yes, that was the only way to escape the chaos on this plane. Yang Chen's voice rang out, "If you want, you can blame yourself for secretly following us and getting caught." "Yes, I have nothing to say, but did you have to blow up this plane like that?" He clenched the lightning-emitting foreign object in his hand and said, "Let's begin." As soon as he finished speaking, everyone there was surrounded by a barrier. Because of the explosion that happened just now, the plane was out of control and plummeting straight down. It crashed into an island in the sea and exploded into smoke and dust. A huge fire engulfed everything. Yangchen was protected by a barrier and was not affected by the explosion. He thought to himself, "Sao Juhian definitely could not survive that accident." The twisted smile that appeared on his face was terrifying. "You're doomed." Quan Sunj held his chest and breathed heavily. Nearby, luckily we used a defensive relic. Quan Sunj urged. "Let's go. What's the nearest city?" Suddenly Yangchen spoke again. "Wait a minute, let me see what happened to Sao Juhian." With that he approached the ruined plane. His eyes glanced to one side. Lying motionless on the ground was none other than Sao Juhian. Yangchen thought smugly. "He's dead." He put his hands in his pockets and looked down at him like a god about to judge someone's life or death. Even if he was still breathing, he would still die right here. Well, surviving in a situation like this is extremely difficult. You have to accept it. Sao Juhian. This was followed by another explosion. Both Quan Sunj and Sunj were amazed at the scene before their eyes. The two people's trembling voices rang out. "What are you doing?" "I guess he blew up the rest with the relic." Yangchen said indifferently, "I just helped them reach the other world faster." "What about Sao Juhian?" He continued. "I saw his body. Or rather, his corpse. I also checked all the bodies of the passengers." "Okay. Very good. Get out of here. I want to rest a bit." "Yes. Then we'll go to the catacombs." Sunj got goosebumps listening. He condemned. Both of them were heartless. That sentence seemed to hit Quan Sunj where it hurt. "Shut up. You're the one who caused this incident. Why are you following me?" He scratched his cheek in embarrassment. He couldn't think of a suitable response. Yang Chen's voice cut in. "Both of you stop. Let's go." "It's okay." Quan Sunj and Yang Chen then left the crime scene. "If I were stuck there, I would definitely become the corpse he saw." "What a shame." Juhian smirked. "Oh. Did you think I was dead?" Jaeha stood beside him, shivering. "I think I'm the one who's dead. Or rather, frozen to death." Snow was falling, covering the ground in white. The sub-zero cold made both of their noses red. Juhian glanced at him discontentedly. "You don't give me time to be cool." "But yeah. You're right." The rope wrapped around his cold body. It cried out happily. "Master. Are you cold?" He pretended to praise it. "Well done, rope." Suddenly Quan Sunj jumped out from somewhere and said, "Brother, where exactly are we?" "I guess we're at the North Pole." The rope continued to chatter in his ear. "Warm, right? Warm." Hearing that, he shouted loudly. "The North Pole? Are you crazy? I will never stay here forever. This guy is really Quan Sunj. The person accompanying Quan Sunj and Yangchen is fake. Of course the body he saw was also fake. Jaeha and Louis didn't just create fake passengers. They also faked our group members in Quan Sunj. Jaeha had taken them all out before the plane crashed. Those dummies were enough to fool them. The real guests are tied up with ropes. We all run away with the lonely god's invitation relic." Looking at the people huddled together shivering over there, he thought of something more important. But the problem now was that we had moved to the Arctic. Better do something about them. Seol approached him and asked. "Boss, are you hurt?" Juhian replied. "Oh, I'm fine. It seems like she's fine too." Then he clapped his hands. "Hey slaves, do you want to live here forever? Do something for me?" Jaeha asked, startled. "Again? What time is it?" His voice rang out. I need a means of transportation out of the Arctic. A train. I thought. Jaeha and Louis rolled their eyes. They both shouted in unison. You want me to be a train? Ju Hyun urged. Hurry up. Jaeha stomped his feet in frustration. No, this was too absurd. How could he create a whole train? Why not? Didn't I give you the Da Vinci relic? You can make the train. And your son can make the railway. Because it's cold here. Remember to be quick. I'll give you 5 minutes. Jaeha was so flustered that he couldn't respond. Seola thought to herself. Boss is busy handling the situation here. I'll report to him about Khloe later. I have to keep an eye on her for now. Can we be on the same team again? Khloe. The news is on. This evening, a plane from New York to Paris was reported to have crashed. The wreckage of the plane was found on a small island in the ocean. Of the 296 passengers, only 16 have been confirmed alive. Most of them were employees hired by TKBM using Relics. They succeeded in using the relic just before the plane crashed. Unfortunately, their relic's power was limited. They were only able to save 2 passengers. Quan Sunj, director of TKBM, apologized for only being able to save 2 people. He promised to compensate the families of the deceased a large sum of money. As a victim of the incident, he always cared for the families of the deceased. Due to his kind gesture, TKBM's stock price skyrocketed. Irene was also listening to the news. Her face was filled with anxiety. From New York to Paris, and at such a coincidental time, no way. Her hand reached for the phone on the table. A call came through. Mr. Julian Miller, hello, this is Irene Hilton. Have you seen the news? There's news about a plane crash. I think Ju Hyun was in the plane. The other end replied. It seems so. Watch Channel 4. According to the information gathered, it is believed that the plane crash was caused by an act of terrorism. The perpetrator is suspected to be a famous miner, Seo Ju Hyun. A huge explosion occurred at the time when Seo Ju Hyun's excavation team caused a commotion. The plane crashed due to a huge explosion incident. According to the information we received, all members of his excavation team died in the collision. Irene's face turned pale in shock. What? No way. Ju Hyun. Ju Hyun. Julian Miller spoke up. Yeah. It was ridiculous. He was stubborn. But he wouldn't commit a terrorist act on a plane like that. The news mentioned TKBM members on the same plane. Right? And they're the only ones trusted. Something must have happened inside the plane. It could be that TKBM members terrorized and took down Seo Ju Hyun. He continued. I will find out more about what happened. I can guarantee that he is still alive somewhere. He will not die so easily. Hearing this, Irene's trembling hand clenched the phone. She said with determination. It's okay. I'll help. In the magnificent city of Paris, tall buildings are lit up all night long. The news everywhere is about the plane crash. The end of the Seo Ju Hyun excavation team. Who will it be next? Who will the tomb fall into? TKBM becomes the strongest candidate. Quan Sunj propped his arms on the back of his chair. He sat in a very relaxed manner. The article in this newspaper was very interesting. Seo Ju Hyun was portrayed as a criminal while our company was portrayed as a hero. Yang Chen spoke up. We'll do another interview next time. Okay. Let's do our best. But what about the passengers we rescued? Oh, that old man. After I promised him a large sum of money, he immediately swore to be a witness in our favor and give Seo Ju Hyun a hard time. Fake Sung Jae also chimed in. Are you guys sure this is okay? What if more passengers survive and they find out about what you guys did? Yang Chen replied confidently. I have ensured that no other passengers survived. The only ones who did were our hired men and 2 other regular passengers. His face darkened. I don't need to say this twice. Right? Sung Jae replied shakily. Well, no, it's not that I'm unhappy to hear that. But why are you looking at me with such a scary gaze? We sacrificed some of the regular passengers. These were for the sake of ending Seo Ju Hyun. This was the only way to end someone like him. He can no longer be called human. He has become a demon. If I don't kill him first, I will definitely die by his hand. But now that he is dead, I can relax a little. Quan Sunj spoke up, his opinion was invalid. It always was. All this happened because he allowed himself to be captured by him. Sun Jae retorted angrily. Hey, how long are you going to keep bringing up hostage situations for me? Calm down, go ahead and attend the interview. Fine. At the same time in the North Pole, the cold wind kept blowing. But the passengers were still happily sitting and warming themselves by the fire. It turned out that Ju-hoon had used one of his relics to maintain the fire in such a cold place. He drank water and raised his voice. Hey slave, how long? Jae-ha shouted angrily. You think making a ship is easy? It's not like you're helping me. Ju-hoon replied, I know it's not an easy task. Jae-ha said, the mechanism of a train is quite complicated, I'm not even sure if this thing can work. Suddenly Ju-hyun said, can you book a restaurant for me first? I'm hungry. I'm working hard, and this guy wants to go out to eat. Jae-ha angrily cursed, you bastard. But in the end, slave number 1 tries to make the train ride in the middle of the snowy forest. It started running without any difficulty. Jae-ha breathed a sigh of relief, thank God, it was running. With this, we can immediately set off south. Once I reach a city with cell signal and network, this game will finally end. All the passengers of the flight placed their trust in me. After all, I saved them from the plane crash and the cold snowy forest. They already knew that TKBM was responsible for the whole plane crash. I didn't even have to say anything. They all wanted to expose the truth of the matter. They were shouting indignantly. We must expose everything. Let's boycott TKBM. We can't be fooled by them. Let's sue them together. That's a good idea. Let's do it. Ju-hyun leaned on his hands and looked at the scenery outside while listening to those words, Quan Sunj, that bastard wouldn't think of it. Suddenly something caught his attention. The bag on the chair suddenly emitted a blue light. He wondered, what is this? Ju-hyun was surprised to see the glowing object in his hand. Looking at the rock before him, a thought popped into his head. The contract, they had breached the contract. It was true. The contract was now being burned bit by a fire. The reason why this holy relic is shining so brightly is probably because he violated the contract. Yes, they probably thought I was dead, so there was no point in keeping such a contract. But all they did was activate the holy relic and what was written in the contract became true. Now, I will ask Jae-ha to perform a special restoration. Suddenly someone rushed to him and called him urgently, brother. The holy relic's effect took effect immediately. Sung Jae said hurriedly, I remember where my father's safe is. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm not sure why I couldn't remember where it was before, but the location just now suddenly came to mind. Ju-hyun calmly replied, sit down first and tell me the details of where it is. First of all, Chairman Quan's safe position came to me through knowing the intermediary Sung Jae. He continued speaking, honestly. This was very strange. I was still confused as to why the location suddenly came to mind. Ju-hyun didn't explain but just replied. We don't have much time, so let's go. He smirked. This worked. Now I just had to figure out how to crack that safe. Seola came forward and said. Boss, I've seen a lot of buildings in the Western Hemisphere. Good. That might be the closest town from here. Let's go there. Listen. I really didn't expect this plan to work. But when we got closer to those buildings, we actually found a densely populated place there. But the people from our flight were too many compared to the population of the tribe. The people from that particular tribe were very surprised. Although they were willing to help us and I could finally get some rest. Turns out we were in northern Canada. It's not as far as I thought. Seola came to inform him. Boss, we can use mobile network here. There's also mobile reception. He smiled back. All right. Get everything ready. Time to strike back. In a building in Paris, a panicked cry rang out. Deputy Director Yang Chen. This is bad. What's going on? The news is on TV. It is revealed that the passengers of the plane that crashed on a remote island in the ocean have survived. They are now on a small tribe in Canada. What is even more shocking is the truth of the incident that they revealed to us. And the truth from their report is completely opposite to what we know so far. Passengers said that the attack inside our flight was not caused by Seo Ju-hoon but by TKBM. That's right. Seo Ju-hoon was the one who saved us. Because there were conflicting reports about the cause of the plane crash, the incident would be reopened. Yang Chen's expression immediately became extremely distorted after reading it. He had never expected things to turn out like this. What the hell was going on? Just as he was confused, Quan Sunj kicked the door open. He shouted angrily. Yang Chen. His trembling voice replied. Ah yes, this can't be happening. I guarantee that they are all dead. Quan Sunj shouted again. Then why are they all still alive? He was responsible for all of this. People are going crazy and trying to boycott us. If this continues, we will definitely suffer a huge loss. Yang Chen bowed his head in apology. I will clear this up. I will handle everything. Quan Sunj rubbed his eyebrows tiredly. Of course he had to handle it. He left a sentence then turned and left, do it carefully. As soon as he raised his head, Yang Chen's face was filled with extreme hatred. Seo Ju-hon, that bastard. The young man's fingers skimmed across the electronic newspaper page. The situation had completely turned upside down. Ju-hon said with a smile. Oh, Miller is calling. He must have seen the latest news. He picked up the phone and said hello. The other end of the line lost his composure and asked loudly. Seo Ju-hon. What really happened? Julian Miller exclaimed. I was sure you were still alive, but you really did something. Ju-hon replied. You think I'm that weak? Irene became happy when she heard his voice. Ju-hon, what a relief. The conversation between the two continued. Even though you're still alive, why did you choose to go to Canada? I used the holy relic to escape and was teleported there. Is that so? What do you plan to do after that? Do you need my help? Oh, I have a plan. Unfortunately, this plan doesn't need your help. He spoke his shocking plan with a very calm expression. I will break into Chairman Quan's safe. Thanks to the people of this tribe for their help. My group and the rest of the passengers managed to get through this crisis. But it seemed that to reach the mainland from this remote island, we would have to cross the ocean. We were in a situation where the tribe's food supply could quickly run out. So I had to ask Jeha to build a ship. But after learning about our situation, the Canadian government decided to help with food supplies and transportation. Passengers spend their time cursing TKBM, while I try to spend my time doing other things. Jeha wondered, do you know Chairman Quan's safe location? Ju-hyun coldly replied. Yes. Ju-hyun spoke up, Quan Sunj told me everything in detail. The good news is that the location isn't too far from here. He continued, after we are ready, we will go there by small plane. Seola hesitantly called out, boss, I think it would be better if at least one person stayed here to keep an eye on the passengers. She volunteered for that task, I'll stay. Jeha startled and scolded her. Hey Lee Seola, are you afraid that you have to leave? How can you do that when I want to stay here too? What if a fight breaks out? You're much better at fighting than I am, aren't you? So let me stay and watch over these passengers. Seola angrily shouted back, don't set me up and just go there. Jeha asked, surely she had her own reasons for choosing this, right? Yes. She explained, in fact, among these passengers. Suddenly the phone rang, interrupting Lee Seola. Wait, it's the co-pilot. Lee Seola frowned and thought, I didn't even have the chance to tell him about Khloe. He's very busy right now. Luckily all the passengers made it here, so I didn't lose track of Khloe. Now I have to keep an eye on her, Lee Seola told herself.